Chapter 1548. In the last few years of the 10 Years' War, Lin Fei's life was quite comfortable. Every day he would either tease the seven-colored ruler or level up for a short while. No one would disturb him. He had his own time. The three divine servants had put in a lot of effort for Lin Fei to stand out on the divine general platform. First was the Holy Stone Mine. Lin Fei was free to collect these mineral veins. With the help of the divine refinement technique, Lin Fei didn't hold back at all. He collected the holy stone mines one by one and turned them into energy points for the battle fortress. Such a good opportunity didn't come by very often. With the energy points, the formations and restrictions inside the battle fortress were completely repaired in a year. The densely packed formations and restrictions were connected from top to bottom. Even Lin Fei felt his scalp go numb when he saw it. How could he break through this? Of course, during this time, Lin Fei recruited a large number of demon warriors through the demon dimension. He used them to activate the battle fortress and unleash the most ordinary attacks. This was something that couldn't be done before. Ordinary sovereigns wouldn't be able to block even an ordinary attack. The battle fortress could unleash the power of a real fortress. Leisurely times were always short. Di Tian, come to me quickly. On this day, Lin Fei was still sunbathing by the lake. The seven-colored ruler massaged his shoulders with a hateful gaze. The divine servant's voice sounded in his mind. Is it finally starting? Lin Fei signaled for the seven-colored ruler to stop. He knew that his leisurely days were over. It's starting. The seven-colored ruler's life wasn't as bad as he had imagined. All in all, Di Tian wasn't bad. What surprised the seven-colored ruler even more was that after killing so many rulers, Sky City had almost become an empty city. The remaining rulers weren't of much use, but the divine servant didn't punish Di Tian at all. Instead, she tried her best to rope Di Tian in. This was something the seven-colored ruler hadn't expected. This was the first time the seven-colored ruler had seen someone kill to this extent. What will come will come. Lin faced it up. Stay by my side and don't talk. It was still the same place as last time. The expressions of the three divine servants didn't change much. If one were to sense it carefully, one would be able to sense a trace of joy in it. If one wasn't an extremely powerful person, one wouldn't be able to tell. The divine general platform is about to begin. Lin Fei listened. Quite a few extremely powerful sovereigns have appeared on the divine general dais, and the competition will be intense. You have to be careful. The three of them were divine servants' instructions. Lin Fei nodded to show that he understood. It's best if you don't use the battle fort in the platform. You can only rely on your own abilities because there are existences you can't afford to offend. They are emissaries that have existed for a very long time. Even if it's just a shadow right now, it's still not something you can handle. You must be mentally prepared. The phantom of a divine general? Lin Fei had never even considered using the battle bastion. This thing couldn't be used unless it was absolutely necessary. If he used it on the divine general platform, all the rulers of the weave would be tempted, and the supreme experts would all appear to hunt him down. Lin Fei didn't like being hunted down all the time. Even though Lin Fei really liked the feeling of killing someone with one shot from the battle bastion, it felt really good, and he would get a large amount of experience and all sorts of benefits. Sirs, you know that I'm quite strong, but I'm afraid I'm just an ordinary existence on the divine general platform. You can't just let me go empty-handed, right? Lin Fei said, feeling wronged. The seven-colored sovereign didn't even dare to breathe loudly in front of the three divine servants. They could kill him with a single finger. After hearing Di Tian's words, he knew the difference between them. The seven-colored sovereign didn't have the guts to ask for benefits openly. I knew you would say that. The three divine servants each took out a celestial talisman that emitted a faint light and flew in front of Lin Fei. These are three celestial talismans. One can protect you from death once. One can unleash the power of an expert like me once. And the last one can help you escape 10 billion kilometers away. Are you satisfied now? Lin Fei was quite satisfied with these 3 things. These are all one-time consumables. Once they're used up, they'll be gone. Is there nothing else? Lin Fei rubbed his nose and said, I have to risk my life for the divine general platform. Only with more protection will I have the confidence to complete the mission. If they dared to give him things, Lin Fei didn't mind asking for more. No matter what it was, as long as it was useful, it was fine. He was cheating here. Lin Fei had every reason to believe that the other divine servants of Sky City would also provide some convenience to the people they chose. He wasn't the only one who benefited. If he really thought that he was the only one who benefited, he wouldn't even know how he died. They would definitely give him these things. Lin Fei was very confident. This is the Destruction Spear Phantom. It has the power of an 8-star ruler. It can be used 10 times in a row. After 10 times, the Phantom will return. This is our greatest support for you. A black spear appeared in front of Lin Fei, emitting a faint aura of destruction. Lin Fei was secretly shocked. Lin Fei knew that this kind of illusory weapon could only be created by an extremely powerful magic treasure. In other words, the 3 divine attendants had a real destructive spear in their hands. Moreover, it possessed terrifying power. Thank you for your support, sirs. I will definitely do my best. Lin Fei put away the Destruction Spear Phantom. You can go back now. The divine general platform will start in the afternoon. Back to his own Senfu, Lin Fei didn't refine the Destruction Spear Phantom. The 3 divine attendants gave Lin Fei a different feeling. This was especially so for this mission. He kept feeling that there were secrets that no one knew about. Why did he have this thought? Even Lin Fei himself wasn't too clear. Little devil, what do you think of this thing? Lin Fei summoned the little devil. This thing is good for you, but it's not a good thing. Fortunately, you didn't refine it. Otherwise, it would have been a fatal disaster. The little devil glanced at it and said coldly, Fatal disaster? Lin Fei didn't see what was hidden in the spear. He used his divine sense to check it several times. His expression couldn't help but become serious. This is a phantom that was stripped from the weapon. If you refine this phantom, it will be equivalent to establishing a connection with the weapon itself. If the other party wants to kill you, they only need to take out the weapon, and they will be able to kill you through the air. F***CK. I knew they wouldn't be so kind. They even hid such a trick. Lin Fei's forehead was full of cold sweat. May I know what grade this weapon is? Establishing a connection could kill him from a distance. Lin Fei really hadn't seen this kind of weapon before. Chapter 1549. It can't be. There's a divine weapon in this world. Lin Fei thought he had misheard. This spear phantom actually came from a divine weapon. A divine weapon isn't something amazing. The little devil didn't care at all and even looked down on him. With your current divinity points, you can exchange for a low-grade divine weapon if you earn a little more. Lin Fei thought about it again. A divine weapon really wasn't that amazing. In fact, a divine weapon was still very powerful in this world. Whoever took it out, even the rulers of the 9 stars, wouldn't dare to underestimate it. Today was the first time Lin Fei heard of a divine weapon, and it came from the 3 divine servants. From the fact that they took out a divine weapon phantom for you, it seems like they're plotting something big. The little devil analyzed. Maybe after it's done, your life will be in danger. Lin Fei cursed the 3 divine servants in his heart. He had almost been tricked. Lin Fei wasn't clear about the characteristics of a divine weapon. If he really refined the phantom and had a connection with the divine weapon, it wouldn't be impossible to kill him from a distance. Should I refine it? If I don't, maybe they'll suspect me. Lin Fei thought, but if I refine it, it'll be equivalent to having a karmic connection. Maybe I'll fall into their trap. This had become a headache to deal with. Lin Fei wasn't willing to put his life in the hands of others, whether they had this intention or not. Lin Fei had to guard against them. At least he had to let them believe that he refined the divine weapon phantom. Otherwise, they would suspect him immediately. The divine general platform hadn't been opened yet, so Lin Fei was still in big trouble. Even with the battle fortress, he might not have a chance of winning, especially if they were prepared. The destructive power of the battle fortress would also be greatly limited. That's simple. As long as you're willing to spend some divinity, I can help you condense a you to confuse them. When the time comes, if they really want to kill you, they'll only kill your fake body, and you won't have any trouble. Moreover, with this fake body, you can also use the karmic connection to take control of the other party's divine weapon by using deceptive tactics. There's such a cultivation method. The shrine is omnipotent as long as you have enough divinity points. I don't think it's expensive. It's not expensive, only 1,000 divinity points. Under such circumstances, Lin Fei could only learn. 1,000 divinity points was equivalent to 500 juggernauts, which was still barely bearable. After a while, deep inside the battle fort, an exact copy of Lin Fei appeared. His aura and divine sense were exactly the same. Even I can't tell. Lin Fei used his spiritual consciousness to check for a while, but did not find any flaws. If you can tell, then this cultivation technique is too worthless. The little devil said, "Now let the fake body refine it." Lin Fei took out the spear image and handed it to his doppelganger, who easily refined it. "I've refined it. You can use it now. Leave this avatar in the battle fort. Don't worry if the divine weapon comes. Just let him out and you'll be safe." Lin Fei put away the spear image and saw his other self sitting cross-legged, seemingly comprehending something. He's using the connection to trace the source and slowly corrode the divine weapon, the spear of destruction. As long as he has enough time, he can take the spear for himself, making them lose their soldiers and their wives. The little devil smirked. When that time comes, their faces will definitely look good. After the important trouble was solved, Lin Fei felt a lot more at ease. Perhaps the divine servants were also at ease. After all, he refined the spear image, which meant that the power of life and death fell into the hands of the other party. Lin Fei did not like this kind of shameless method. Now that he had no worries, Lin Fei wanted to know what tricks they were playing. In the afternoon, everyone received the notice. The divine general platform would open today, which was undoubtedly good news for the juggernauts who had been in Sky City. In order to fight for the battle fort, the 10 juggernauts of Sky City had all died. A large number of juggernauts were killed, so they did not dare to go out and had been hiding in Sky City. With the opening of the divine general platform, they could move to a new place, which was undoubtedly a relief. Boom! In the sky above Sky City, a vortex descended, piercing through the clouds and the void. It was like a giant pillar of light that appeared in Sky City's plaza. This pillar of light was majestic and boundless. Everyone seemed incredibly small in front of this pillar of light. The juggernauts appeared in the plaza, staring at the pillar of light not too far away. This was the moment they had all been looking forward to. About the time it took for an incense stick to burn. A strange power enveloped Sky City. Every juggernaut, regardless of their cultivation level, subconsciously flew toward the pillar of light, unable to control their bodies. After sensing that there was no danger, the juggernauts relaxed. One by one, they entered the pillar of light. Lin Fei was also affected by the power, unable to move. This power is quite strange. It can suppress my power. The divine general platform above should be even more extraordinary. Lin Fei did not resist, allowing himself to enter the pillar of light and fly upward. In the depths of Sky City, the 3 divine servants also stood up. Their gazes were fixed on the pillar of light. A hint of anticipation appeared on their previously expressionless faces. I hope I'll succeed this time. Lin Fei felt his surroundings change faster and faster. A terrifying, tearing force tore at him, as though it wanted to tear him apart. He felt as though he were on the brink of death. This process lasted for a very long time. By the time Lin Fei regained control of his body, he had appeared on a platform. There were many similar platforms around him. Before Lin Fei could take a closer look, the platforms flew away and disappeared without a trace. At this time, Lin Fei noticed that there were 9 towering mountains in the distance. Apart from these 9 mountains, there was nothing else in his field of vision. Divine General Mountain? Lin Fei looked again. One side of the mountain had been shaved off, leaving behind 3 majestic words. Just from these words alone, Lin Fei could tell that they were extraordinary. At this time, the platform beneath him was pulled by some sort of force, directly flying into the distance. It was getting farther and farther away from the 9 mountains, and in the end it could no longer be seen. Lin Fei estimated that it had flown for at least 10 billion miles, perhaps even more. As for where the platform was flying to, Lin Fei was not in the mood to pay attention. He just let Little Fiend scan the space so that he could have a better understanding. This place is really not ordinary. Even time is messed up. I don't even know how long it has been since I left that place. The platform dissipated, and Lin Fei stopped in midair with a solemn expression. The surrounding space and time were in a state of chaos. This was the first time he had encountered such a place. The divine servants said that I have to obtain as many deity roots as possible in order to have a chance to enter the divine general platform. I wonder what deity roots look like. Lin Fei first used his divine sense to carefully scan the surroundings. After confirming that there was no danger, he searched in a certain direction. After traveling thousands of miles, a huge bird suddenly appeared in the sky. It was a red bird. The moment the bird appeared, its wings were like 2 blades slashing towards Lin Fei's direction. Then it let out a loud cry and spat out a wind blade. The bird's attack speed was extremely fast. It broke through the speed of an ordinary 1- or 2-star Dominator and had at least the speed of a 3-star Dominator. A stupid bird also dares to come out and show off. Lin Fei really looked down on a bird. He casually flicked its wings twice, and the huge force sent the bird flying, sprinkling feathers down from the sky. The bird was startled and hurriedly fled, not daring to continue fighting. Come down! Lin Fei turned into a stream of light and directly stood on the bird's back. He grabbed with his bare hands, and the bird's head exploded. Its huge body fell down. Ding! Killed bird. Obtained 30 divinity points. The system's notification shocked Lin Fei, and he suspected that he had heard wrongly. What the hell? Why did I get 30 divinity points from killing a bird? An ordinary Dominator would only get a few points. The stronger one was, the more divinity points they would get. Up until now, Lin Fei only remembered that he had obtained a lot of divinity points from killing young Master Brahman's clone. That was also the only time. But now, obtaining 30 divinity points from killing a Dominator bird was a pleasant surprise for Lin Fei. Let's try again. Not long after, another bird appeared, but its strength was much weaker. In order to check if there was really so much divinity, Lin Fei did not waste time and slashed with his long saber, killing the bird on the spot. This time, Lin Fei did not hear wrongly. He obtained 20 divinity points, 10 less than the previous one. Lin Fei moved around again. He killed a total of 5 ruler birds in total and obtained 20 or so divinity points from each bird. What a strange place. Lin Fei was very surprised that the divine general platform was such a place. At that moment, Lin Fei suddenly thought of a possibility. Could it be that God roots could also be converted into divinity points? As soon as this thought appeared, it filled his mind. There are so many divinity points here. You can collect them. The more divinity points you have, the better it is for you. The little devil could not understand the situation here. When you have enough divinity points, you can exchange for a divine weapon or divine armor. What is there to be afraid of? Lin Fei thought so too. No matter how strange this place was, at least for now, it was the most suitable place to collect divinity points. A Dominator bird was better than 10 Dominators. Where else could he find such a good thing? Ding! Killed Dominator bird. Obtained 20 divinity points. Ding! Killed Immortal Emperor bird. Obtained 10 divinity points. Others did it for the divine general platform, but after Lin Fei discovered the benefits, he had long forgotten about it. Now he was wholeheartedly collecting divinity points. These Dominator immortal beasts were average in strength and easy to kill. After there were fewer birds in the sky, Lin Fei entered the mountains to hunt immortal beasts, big and small, for divinity points. Chapter 1550. It had been a month. Since entering this space, Lin Fei had spent a month's time. During this month, he had been hunting immortal beasts, regardless of whether they were big or small. As long as he encountered them, he would not let them go. Mosquito meat was also meat. This also caused Lin Fei's divinity points to rise rapidly. The harvest was gratifying. The speed was much faster than when he bombarded the ruler, so Lin Fei was excited every day. Ding! Killed Celestial King, level giant ape. Obtained 5 divinity points. Ding! Congratulations, player obtained 100,000 divinity points. Lin Fei's hand rose and fell, and a behemoth fell down. As for killing these immortal beasts, Lin Fei already had some experience. As long as he was fast and did not give them a chance to attack, he could kill them in the shortest time possible. 100,000 divinity points. The divinity points were increasing every day, and Lin Fei really did not pay attention to the specific number. Ding! Player obtained 100,000 divinity points. Can obtain a free cultivation technique in the God Pavilion. In the next second, Lin Fei entered the God Pavilion. Such a good thing. Although Lin Fei had 100,000 divinity points, it was still very difficult to exchange for a good cultivation technique in the God Pavilion. The door of the God Pavilion opened again. This time, the little devil did not appear. As soon as he stepped into the God Pavilion, there were only 10 light balls in front of him, traversing the air, emitting a gray light. This is a random choice. Lin Fei cursed in his heart. Did it really think it was a free choice? It turned out that it gave him a choice. When he used his divine sense to check, it bounced back every time. Lin Fei understood that this was intentional by the system. If he wanted to choose a good thing, he probably had to rely on luck. This one in the middle is fine. Lin Fei was very lazy. He could not see through the 10 light balls, so he could only choose randomly. Ding! Congratulations, player obtained divine cultivation technique, 1 blade slash. Lin Fei's eyes lit up. This was a good thing. The remaining 9 light balls dissipated, and a jade slip fell into Lin Fei's hands. He could not wait to check it out, wanting to know the power of the divine cultivation technique, 1 blade slash. After looking through it, the divine level cultivation technique, 1 saber slash, was indeed very domineering. Lin Fei himself had once practiced an ancient saber technique. The difference between this saber technique and a god-tier cultivation technique was indeed huge. The ancient saber technique was very tyrannical, but the divine grade cultivation technique was even more tyrannical. It directly pushed forward, displaying its tyranny to the fullest. My cultivation technique. I'm currently lacking a domineering cultivation technique. The god-level single-blade chop suits me the best. The more Lin Fei looked at it, the more he liked it. With this thought, Lin Fei prepared to cultivate the deity tier cultivation technique, 1 blade chop. Ding! The activation of the divine level space will consume 1,000 divinity points for 1 day. Without waiting for Lin Fei's consent, the scene before him changed once more, and he found himself in another space. F***CK. Do you have to scam my divinity points like that? Something new appeared in Lin Fei's mind. It was a godly class technique, single saber slash. He reached out, and a sovereign's blade appeared in his hand. Hua! He slashed out with his saber. A divine light flickered. The void was torn open, and in the blink of an eye it returned to normal. Ding! Using one blade chop once. +1 experience point. Ding! Primary 1 blade chop. Opening the system, Lin Fei understood that this place was specially for practicing deity tier cultivation techniques. On second thought, deity tier cultivation techniques shouldn't be easy to practice. He had taken a shortcut here. Lin Fei also discovered that this space contained divine light, which was very beneficial for practicing here. Again, Lin Fei's saber slash treated the void as an enemy. With each slash, the power would increase, and the domineering nature of the saber technique would be revealed, revealing an attitude of looking down on the world. Hundreds and thousands of slashes. Kacha! The sovereign's blade shattered. I did it just like that. Returning to the outside once more, Lin Fei was still savoring the power of the last slash. Domineering. Looking down on the world. This was a true saber technique. Even though Lin Fei had used 10,000 divinity points to execute the saber slash, it had allowed Lin Fei to grasp a powerful saber technique. Now that he was a 5-star ruler, his saber slash could deal with at least a 7-star ruler. After all, this was a deity tier saber technique. One needed to reach a certain realm to use it in order to unleash its perfect power. With this power, Lin Fei was quite satisfied. He continued to kill monsters. After mastering 1 blade chop, Lin Fei only felt a trace of domineering aura on his body. When killing immortal beasts, a trace of domineering divine might made the other party tremble. This was a strange thing. Lin Fei didn't think too much about it. Killing monsters was the most important thing. Another 10 days passed. Lin Fei obtained thousands of divinity points, but he still didn't encounter the god root that the god's servant mentioned. It was as if it had disappeared without a trace. Boom, another immortal beast died under the saber. There was a gentle aura in front of him, like a gentle spring breeze. At this moment, Lin Fei felt as if he had returned to his mother's embrace. Very real, very real. Lin Fei's mind shook and he shattered this aura. He recovered and released his divine senses. It emitted a misty light billions of miles away. At this moment, it was extremely dazzling. This is God light. No, God light isn't like this. Lin Fei's eyes flashed. He seemed to know what it was. Whoosh, he spread his demon wings and flew out. He covered billions of miles in an instant. At this moment, in a mountain range, there was a gentle aura. Lin Fei focused his eyes and saw a young tree sapling swaying in the wind by the lake. This young sapling was completely golden, and the gentle light was released from the sapling. Is this the god root? Lin Fei was sure that he didn't recognize it wrong. This was the god root. The more things that the god servant mentioned, the more chances he had to enter the divine general platform. Grab it, and let me see. Lin Fei made a grabbing motion with his hand, appearing above the golden sapling. He only needed to make a light grab, and the sapling would fall into his hand. This isn't something a little sovereign like you can get. An arrogant voice came from the void. Then a golden light flashed. The other party slashed at Lin Fei's arm. It didn't cut it, but Lin Fei's hand was sent flying. After Lin Fei's hand was sent flying, another hand reached out from the void and grabbed at the god root. He didn't see the attacker. It was a sovereign expert who attacked from afar. Whether or not you can get it is not up to you. Cut. Great sword chi secret art. 5 swords merged into one and cut the hand. A drop of blood fell from the void. This sword didn't end there. It went deep into the void. Ever since he cultivated the divine blade slash, he had a better understanding of cultivation techniques. Lin Fei also improved the great sword Qi secret art, and its power increased. This sword went straight to the source. A muffled groan came from the void. Lin Fei didn't stay idle. He grabbed with his other hand, and the sapling landed in his hand. The divine light converged and turned into a god root. Ding! Discovered god root. Do you want exchange for divinity points? Exchange! Lin Fei didn't hesitate. The god root turned into divinity points. Ding! Congratulations, player, for obtaining 1,000 divinity points. 1,000 divinity points? Lin Fei was shocked. What kind of joke was this? 1,000 divinity points suddenly appeared. Killing a sovereign immortal beast required 20 to 30 points. Isn't this a little too terrifying? Give me back my god root. Before Lin Fei could digest this news, a fierce aura came from the front. A huge warship came crashing over. The surrounding void was damaged by this collision. A young man stood in the sky above the warship. Black mist pulsed around his body. Lin Fei was quickly locked on by the warship. An invisible pressure surrounded him, causing the surrounding space to become like mud. You're just a 5-star sovereign, and you dare to snatch my god root and injure me? In front of my destruction warship, I want you to die, 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 die. Completely destroy me. His roar caused the young man's face to contort into a sinister expression. He was also a 5-star sovereign. He was very strong. The warship under him was also a sovereign warship. Moreover, it had the power of the great Tao, making it stronger. The young man was very arrogant. Boom! This collision shocked the world. The warship crashed into the other party as promised. The young man was even more proud. Anyone who dared to fight with him would be killed. Your strength is not bad. Unfortunately, you chose the wrong person. The young man's expression changed. A cold voice sounded in his ears. A gray light flashed in the young man's eyes, and the 5-star sovereign's body instantly turned into pieces. This saber was a saber slash. God-tier saber technique. It was the first time he used it. No matter how strong his body was, it was not worth mentioning in front of this god-tier saber technique. Not bad. I obtained 100 divinity points. The person he killed this time gave him a lot more divinity points. Lin Fei pondered for a while. It should be because the other party had refined the god root, and the divinity in his body had increased. He obtained more divinity points by killing the other party. The system is really a scam. 1,000 god roots, and after refining, there are only 100 left. This made Lin Fei very unhappy. Although he was unhappy, Lin Fei once again saw a shortcut to obtain divinity points. It was either to snatch the god root or to kill the sovereign, especially the sovereign who had refined the god root. Lin Fei also put away the sovereign worship. The god-tier saber slash was too domineering. With this saber slash, everything on the other party's body would be turned into pieces. Nothing could be left. The saber slash consumes too much power of the great Tao. Based on my strength, I can use it 5 times at most before all my power of the great Tao is used up. This is a problem. The power was there. This consumption gave Lin Fei a headache. Great destruction of the heavens, suppress for me. Suddenly, 3 terrifying auras blasted over again. Lin Fei's background changed, and he was in a world full of destructive aura. The sky was full of immortal kings and immortal emperors, densely packed, and they used all kinds of divine abilities to attack. The huge world revolved, and Lin Fei was instantly drowned by divine abilities. At the end of the world, 3 sovereigns stood side by side, their eyes cold. A mere 5-star sovereign really thinks he is something. Things like the god root are only worthy of us, not this guy. The sovereign in the middle said indifferently, Chapter 1551. All three of them were six-star rulers. On the God General's platform, they came from the same territory and naturally worked together. The moment they found traces of the deity roots, they would immediately chase after them. The three of them worked together and obtained many deity roots. They had never been defeated, at least not yet. The Great Destruction World was ruler Qing Hong's treasure. It was refined from a great world, and now that the three of them were using it, its power was limitless. They even dared to fight against a 7-star ruler. They didn't care about a 5-star ruler at all. The moment they attacked, they wanted to kill him. Under the attack of the Great Destruction World, they could kill him in less than a few breaths. Then they could take the deity roots and leave without wasting any time. F***CK, are you done yet? The Great Destruction World pressed down, and Lin Fei couldn't shake off the world's power. When the sky full of attacks came, he activated his invincible defense. He was in a bad mood, and the moment he used the great sword Qi secret art, the autumn wind swept away the fallen leaves, sweeping away the densely packed immortals. Under this sword, the immortals were all torn to pieces. There were too many immortals in the Great Destruction World, and those who were killed would be reborn again and again. After attacking a few times, Lin Fei knew how powerful this treasure was, and that it couldn't be destroyed easily. For now, it could be said that this was the most powerful treasure Lin Fei had ever encountered. You are quite capable, but it's a pity that you landed in the Great Destruction World and are destined to die. The last thing you should have done was obtain the deity roots. Mocking voices came from the sky. The sky full of immortals attacked again, their aura even more ferocious than before. They were like a black cloud, trying to drown Lin Fei within. Single blade slash. Lin Fei didn't want to waste time talking. If he couldn't kill the immortal army, he would just destroy the Great Destruction World. Let's see who would kill who then. Boom! Lin Fei executed a terrifying blade attack for the second time. This blade attack shone with divine light, and the immortals' attacks were all disintegrated. Everywhere the blade light passed, the immortal army was turned into dust, and countless cities were destroyed. Gotcha! The three rulers didn't care about the other party. They might be able to block the first wave, but they couldn't block the second. In their eyes, this was a deathbed struggle. The other party wouldn't be able to hold on for long. They only needed to wait for a while. However, when that resplendent and tyrannical saber appeared, the army of immortals collapsed. The three 6-star sovereigns felt a trace of fear in their hearts. It was as if this saber was aimed at them. Not good, my great sky destroyer! Hegemin Qing Hong's heart skipped a beat. He could sense the cracks in the sky destroyer realm, and he felt great heartache. What kind of saber skill is this? We've been locked onto. The saber carrying divine light rushed over, and the remaining 2 sovereigns felt a trace of terror. This saber strike had exceeded their expectations. How could that fellow unleash such an attack? Go! The 3 of them didn't have the confidence to face this attack, so they left the Great Destruction Heaven Realm. Boom! The Great Destruction Heaven World shook. In an instant, everything in the world was crushed. The 3 exited the Skydevastator world, which was now covered with cracks and scars. Hegemin Qing Hong was still badly shaken by the terrifying attack his opponent had unleashed. What should we do? This fellow is not easy to deal with. Before Hegemin Qing Hong could say anything, a streak of saber light suddenly cleaved apart the Skyruin world, causing it to be heavily damaged. My Skydevastator world! Hegemin Qing Hong's heart was dripping blood when he saw this. This was his most powerful treasure. How could it have been cleaved apart? My apologies, the 3 of you. This thing of yours isn't very tough. It wasn't even able to withstand 2 of my saber strikes. The faces of the 3 twitched as they watched a black-robed youth walk out. His sharp gaze swept past the 3 of them, and it was as though he had slapped them across the face. Previously, They had been certain that their opponent was dead for sure. Now it's my turn. After unleashing 2 saber strikes in a row and breaking apart the Skydevastator world, Lin Fei had used up half of his Grand Dao energy. He had to admit that this world was very tough. Ordinary sovereigns would die even if they didn't. You destroyed my Skydevastator world because you used a powerful treasure. I refuse to believe that you can still use something like this. He Gemin Qinghong had lost one of his most powerful treasures. The two of them were definitely going to fight to the death. Let's attack. The 3 of them had communicated with their divine sense, and they were certain that their opponent wouldn't be able to produce such a powerful treasure. This was their chance. With 3 6-star sovereigns attacking, they refused to believe that they wouldn't be able to deal with this fellow. Illusory Destruction Spear. Boom! The aura of destruction directly pressed down on the 3 6-star sovereigns. Traces of the aura of destruction pierced through their ruler battle robes. The 3 6-star sovereigns were certain that their opponent didn't have any powerful treasures. They still had the advantage. This piercing attack caused their expressions to turn unsightly once more. The aura of destruction caused their hair to stand on end. Die! The illusory destruction spear pierced forward, and an overwhelming amount of destructive energy surged over like an ocean. The 3 6-star sovereigns felt as though they had fallen into a bottomless abyss. All that was left behind were skeletal corpses. Instant kill. What's the point? After putting away the illusory destruction spear, Lin Fei smiled. The system sent him a message. He had obtained 600 divinity points. This was a good deal. It would be a waste not to use the treasures bestowed by the divine servants. 7-star might was perfect for killing 6-star sovereigns. After experiencing the benefits of the deity root, Lin Fei also began to pay attention. A single deity root was worth 1,000 divinity points. Coupled with the people who came to snatch it, it could be considered a big deal. Lin Fei hunted immortal beasts while searching for deity roots. Perhaps because the location was remote, deity roots didn't appear often. Until now, he had only encountered them 3 times. Each time, Lin Fei had a bountiful harvest. The illusory destruction spear had also been used 5 times, especially the last time a 6-star sovereign had withstood the first wave of attacks. Lin Fei had no choice but to use it again and kill the other party with 1 stab. Master, there should be good things in the southeast direction. I discovered more than a dozen energy waves. Among them, the strongest should have the combat power of a 7-star sovereign, and the weakest should have the combat power of a 4-star sovereign. I like this. Lin Fei was worried that he hadn't discovered it. 7-star sovereign. Lin Fei wasn't worried. Killing an expert of this level should give him a lot of divinity points. 1 billion miles away. This was a mountain range. However, it had been razed to the ground. All kinds of great Dao powers filled the place and intertwined with each other. As long as a weaker sovereign entered, he would immediately be killed by these great Dao powers. There was no other possibility. Skirich sovereign, you're already injured. I wonder how much longer you can hold on. In the sky above the mountain range, a burly man with a bare upper body was currently drenched in blood. His body was also in tatters. Ha ha ha, I'm injured. I'll make you pay a huge price. If you don't believe me, you can try. Who would dare doubt my words? The burly man held a black axe in his left hand. With a swing of the axe, a ray of light shot out and shattered an attack. Skirich, you were lucky to escape last time. Today you'll die without a doubt. Moreover, you've snatched the deity root. Our Wind Cloud clan won't allow you to break through again. At this moment, more than a dozen sovereigns were attacking. The weakest was a 4-star sovereign, and the strongest was a 6-star sovereign. The burly man on the other side was called Skirich Sovereign. He was a peak 5-star sovereign. Not far away, a white-robed sovereign stared at Skirich Sovereign. A cold aura emanated from his body. Wind Cloud, Howling Wind, heaved a sigh of relief. This Skirich sovereign, an enemy of the clan, was finally going to die by his hand. He believed that the clan would be very happy to have gotten rid of one genius sovereign after another. A peak 5-star sovereign could unleash the combat power of a peak 6-star sovereign. If he continued to grow, who knew how much impact he would have on the clan? Wind Cloud, Howling Wind did not expect to meet him here. It was a good opportunity to settle everything in one go. It would also save him a headache. If he did not lead the team today, the people below him would not be able to stop Skirich, Sovereign. Soul Shock Spear. Wind Cloud, Howling Moon flipped his hand, and a golden spear appeared. Skirich, Sovereign, die. The golden spear stabbed forward. The terrifying power of the great Tao caused the surrounding time to slow down. The sovereigns who were attacking Skirich, Sovereign felt their movements become infinitely slower. Skirich, Sovereign's movements also slowed down. Without a doubt, Wind Cloud, Howling Wind was very strong. His spear stabbed Skirich, Sovereign's body, shattering one of his arms and opening a large hole in his chest. Fresh blood flowed out. Skirich, Sovereign, this is the clan's strength. No matter how strong you are, can you be stronger than me? Wind Cloud, Howling Wind looked down at Skirich, Sovereign from above after heavily injuring him with a single spear strike. If he attacked again, this genius sovereign would die by his hand. I hate you. Skirich, Sovereign roared with his head raised. I hate myself for being too weak. I can't continue killing the Wind Cloud clan's lackeys. I hate. His unwilling voice reverberated in the sky. Wind Cloud, Howling Wind mocked. You asked for it. You should have known this a long time ago, since you dared to go against the Wind Cloud clan. Now, let me send you on your way. Killing a genius dominator like you is such a great achievement. Ha ha ha! For a sovereign, killing a genius sovereign was the greatest sense of accomplishment. Moreover, this person was the clan's nemesis. It won't be that easy to kill me. I'll drag someone down with me, even if I die. I'm willing to die with a 7-star sovereign like you. Skirich, Sovereign was prepared to die. He mobilized the remaining power of the great Tao in his body and prepared to self-destruct. You can't do it. The mockery on Wind Cloud, Howling Wind's face deepened. He seemed to have expected this. He pointed a finger at Skirich, Sovereign's forehead. Skirich, Sovereign had just mobilized his power, but it was suppressed mercilessly. He could not mobilize it at all. He could only watch as his opponent pointed a finger at him. The difference in strength between them was too great. Skirich, Sovereign would not be able to block it even if time was slowed down. This was the suppression of the realm. He could not break free from the restraints of the great Tao. Am I going to die just like this? A deathly aura enveloped the sky, reaching ruler. However, in the next second, the deathly aura dissipated, and the sky-reaching ruler saw an unimaginable scene. Feng Yangxiafeng's chest had been pierced by a long spear, causing his entire body to be pierced through, and drops of blood dripped down. Who attacked? Skirich, Sovereign did not sense anyone around him. Wind Cloud, Howling Wind was a 7-star sovereign. How could he have been ambushed? If it was not an ambush, then how could the situation before him be explained? Someone actually attacked him at this moment and dealt a fatal blow. Who? Ambushed me, Wind Cloud, Howling Wind roared. At such a critical moment, he was actually ambushed and even suffered a fatal injury. Wind Cloud, Howling Wind could no longer remain calm. The middle-grade sovereign battle armor on his body was pierced. This was a middle-grade sovereign battle armor. Wind Cloud, Howling Wind had paid a huge price to exchange for it from the family treasury. Now it was pierced by someone. Ha ha ha, Wind Cloud, Howling Wind. To think that you would have such a day. Skirich, Sovereign broke free and swung his axe at his opponent. It landed on his opponent's body, causing a large area of light to shine. Scram! The enraged wind cloud, howling wind, pierced Skirich, Sovereign's body again, and sent him flying. "How dare you ambush?" someone from the Wind Cloud clan. "Come out and face the wrath of the Wind Cloud clan if you dare." Wind Cloud, howling wind's time covered the area. The spear in his hand stabbed out one after another. Large areas of the void were shattered, but the person was not forced out. This was an attack from a furious 7-star sovereign. Wind Cloud, howling wind was dumbfounded when the person he expected did not appear. How could he not be here? Whoosh! At this moment, another spear stabbed out from the void. "You're finally out." Wind Cloud, howling wind's spear stabbed out as well. Time slowed down. The opponent's spear attack slowed down. "Come out." Boom! The spear exploded with terrifying might. This might crushed time and slowed down. A ray of light shot out and pierced through Wind Cloud, howling wind's sovereign battle armor again. It pierced through him again, and his strong body was torn apart. I was stabbed again. Wind Cloud, howling wind, looked down at the wound on his body. It was hard to imagine that he was hit again. Time slowed down, didn't block the opponent's attack. He was defeated. He was defeated again. He saw the destructive aura explode again and engulfed him. "Lord! Oh no, Lord is dead!" The sovereigns outside watched this scene with their eyes wide open. A powerful 7-star sovereign was ambushed twice and killed in front of him? This was no less than a nightmare. Wind Cloud, howling wind, fell down. A black-robed figure walked out with a faint smile on his face. He raised his hand and slashed at them with his sword. Thousands of sword lights were created. The sword lights swept through them one by one, killing the sovereigns one by one. This trip was really worth it. Although I used up 2 destruction spear shadows, this kind of guy needs to be killed in this way. Lin Fei didn't feel it was a pity. After killing Wind Cloud, howling wind, he obtained 1,300 divinity points, which exceeded the god root. This made Lin Fei overjoyed. "Thank you for your help, Taoist. I've long wanted to kill that old dog, Wind Cloud, howling wind." Chapter 1552. The one who attacked was none other than Lin Fei. This time, Lin Fei used a trick. He relied on Little Devil to conceal his aura and conceal himself to secretly injure this 7-star dominator. 2 consecutive destruction pike phantoms were enough to take a 7-star dominator's life. He obtained a large number of divinity points. Lin Fei was very satisfied. As for saving him, it was a piece of cake. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to obtain so many divinity points. Lin Fei didn't care about the clan at all. Even if they came, he could kill them with his own methods. He didn't need any honorable methods to deal with such people. He just needed to achieve his goal. Lin Fei was very open-minded, especially when he was facing a 7-star dominator. He would be an idiot to fight head-on, especially when he saw that time had slowed down. Any attack would be mercilessly suppressed. Sneak attacks seemed to be the best method. Only Lin Fei could do such a close-range sneak attack. Of course, there were some dominators who were especially skilled in this aspect. "You don't need to thank me. You can leave before they arrive." Lin Fei didn't want to say anything more to this person. After plundering nearly 2,000 divinity points, Lin Fei wasn't interested in a 5-star dominator. What was important was that he wasn't someone who killed indiscriminately. One more or one less did not make much difference. If such a person were to remain, perhaps the Wind Cloud clan that they spoke of would be a huge headache. When Skirich Dominator saw the black-robed person, who was as young as he was and exuded the aura of a 5-star dominator, he couldn't help but be shocked. He had encountered a genius dominator so soon. His combat power was above his, especially in the art of concealment. He couldn't compare. Skirich Dominator was very confident in his own strength. Fortunately, Skirich Dominator's Taoist heart was stable, and he quickly returned to normal. "You've killed someone from the Wind Cloud clan. Please be careful from now on. The Windcloud clan has many tricks up their sleeves. They even sent 3 8-star Dominators to the Divine General platform this time. Skirich Dominator felt the need to remind the other party. It didn't matter if the other party attacked to save him. 3 8-star sovereigns. Lin Fei hadn't thought too much about killing a 7-star sovereign. He hadn't expected this person to have such a powerful background. Aside from a 7-star sovereign, he also had 3 8-star sovereigns backing him. Yes, the Windcloud clan is the #1 clan in the Yellow Springs Weave. They have a 9-star ruler in their clan. This time they've arranged for 3 8-star rulers to enter the Divine General platform to help young Master Windcloud ascend the Divine General platform. Got it? Lin Fei said simply. As long as he didn't go looking for the 8-star sovereigns, they wouldn't come looking for him for no reason. Lin Fei was quite calm. After killing Feng Yun Xiao Feng, Lin Fei naturally wanted to collect the spoils of war. Who knows? Feng Yun Xiao Feng might even have a deity root. True enough. In Feng Yun Xiao Feng's storage ring, Lin Fei found 10 god roots neatly placed in a jade box with an immortal talisman sealed on it. 10,000 divinity points. He didn't expect to catch a big fish after killing a 7-star sovereign. Up until now, Lin Fei had obtained pitifully few god roots. This was his first time encountering a ready-made god root. Now that it was in Lin Fei's hands, Lin Fei wouldn't take it out. He immediately exchanged it for divinity points. Ding! Congratulations, player, for obtaining 13,000 divinity points. Lin Fei was delighted once again. It was more than expected. Lin Fei's thoughts wandered as he thought to himself, this Windcloud clan isn't simple. A 7-star sovereign actually has 10 god roots. I couldn't find many god roots even after searching everywhere. However, why didn't he refine so many god roots? It doesn't make sense, I understand now. Skirich seemed to have mentioned that these sovereigns serve the young master. Doesn't that mean that the Windcloud clan has many ready-made god roots? Lin Fei had always been very courageous. If he killed some people from the Windcloud clan, he might reap great rewards. He could even look further and not focus on the Windcloud clan. Sir, I also have 3 god roots here. I hope you will accept them. Without waiting for Lin Fei to continue thinking, Skirich Hegemin took out a jade box. A hint of hesitation flashed across his face before he gritted his teeth and spoke. For the clan. So what if he had to pay some god roots? Skirich Hegemin felt that although the person in front of him was of the same realm as him, his combat strength was much more terrifying. A 7-star sovereign, Windcloud Howling Wind, had died in his hands just like that. Skirich Hegemin didn't care about the methods used. As long as he won, any method was fine. The winner was king, and the loser was a bandit. Lin Fei scanned the jade box with his divine sense. There were 3 god roots in it. He wanted to curse in his heart. Why did these people get god roots so easily? He had searched so hard and yet didn't gain much. It was infuriating to compare oneself to others. If you have a request, say it. Lin Fei's long hair fluttered in the wind. His lazy voice fell into Skirich Hegemin's ears. Lin Fei didn't think that someone was giving something to him to thank him. Judging by the long hesitation on the other party's face, there must be a reason. If it wasn't something troublesome, Lin Fei didn't mind helping him out. This was called accepting with a clear conscience. Lin Fei could actually steal it. However, the other party was already so pitiful. Wouldn't it be too shameless to steal from him? Skirich Hegemin took a deep breath. A cold glint shot out of his eyes. I want you to help me kill someone. If you want me to kill the young master of the Windcloud clan, then forget it. Although he didn't know what kind of bitter feud this guy had with the Windcloud clan, Lin Fei didn't need to know. He just needed to speak to cut off the other party's thoughts. With 3 8-star Dominators supporting a young master, killing him would be no easy task. Lin Fei wasn't stupid enough to do so. Scary Chi did want him to help him kill the young master of the Wind Cloud clan. The young master was a super prodigy with extremely powerful combat strength. If he stood out in the divine general platform, he would become a stabilizing force for the Wind Cloud clan in the future. If he killed him, it would be a huge blow to the Wind Cloud clan. The death of any super prodigy would have a huge impact on the clan. Scary Chi didn't expect the other party to cut off his thoughts so easily. He didn't want to attack the young master, but he did have a sliver of hope that the other party would agree. Feng Yun Xiaofeng would kill him on a whim. They might even be friends. As the saying went, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Unfortunately, Lin Fei was just passing by. Then help me kill a 7-star dominator. That person will have deity roots. I'm sure you'll like it. Scary Chi said in a low voice. They collect deity roots to support the young master. Almost all the great clans in the divine general platform are like this. Lin Fei suddenly narrowed his eyes. Chapter 1553. My lord Xiaofeng is dead. The cold voice glinted with cold light, and it came from the mouth of a sovereign who bore a striking resemblance to him. This was a rocky area of the divine general stage. There were tall rocks of different sizes everywhere. At this moment, a 7-star sovereign hurriedly rushed over, holding a broken piece of jade in his hand that contained the words, Wind and Cloud Howl and Wind. This was the Wind Cloud clan's soul stone, and it contained a trace of the sovereign's soul. Who killed him? There were many sovereigns standing in the rocky area. There were many layers of security. It was very tight. I'm not sure yet. A hegemon with thick eyebrows and large eyes shot out waves of cold light, causing the surrounding temperature to plummet, causing the surrounding hegemons to secretly tremble. This was one of the 3 8-star hegemons, and his name was Hegemon Feng Yun Sha. The 7-star sovereign who came to report was sweating profusely when he glanced at him. The Wind Cloud Slaughter Sovereign had been a notorious sovereign since a chaos year ago. Once his name was mentioned, everyone retreated, not daring to offend him. Back then, the Wind Cloud Slaughter Sovereign had killed an entire world in one battle. He had completely destroyed an entire world. Even now, there were still remnants of the sovereign's Tao there. In the Wind Cloud clan, everyone was wary of this sovereign. Go and find out who has the guts to kill a member of the Wind Cloud clan. The Wind Cloud Slaughter Sovereign did not want to ask too many questions. I want to kill his entire clan. This was the Wind Cloud Slaughter Sovereign's temper. After sending the sovereign away, the Wind Cloud Slaughter Sovereign returned. In the center of the rocky area, 2 people stood on each side. They were like 2 ferocious door gods, each emitting a sovereign aura. They covered the sky above this area, forming an inescapable net. Slaughter Sovereign, what happened? The one who spoke was the Wind Cloud Minor Saint. He was known as a saint since birth. He cultivated quickly, and it was rumored that he was the reincarnation of a sovereign. Xiaofeng is dead. What? He's dead? Where's the deity root? The Wind Cloud Minor Saint frowned slightly. The Wind Cloud Minor Saint did not care about the death of a 7-star sovereign. He was more concerned about the deity root. That was the most important thing. His gaze landed on a young man in embroidered clothes. Traces of divine light shone from the young man's body. The 3 8-star sovereigns also looked at the young man. Someone stole it. Feng Yun Sha's eyes flashed fiercely. Young master, you're a genius. You're progressing at lightning speed. Perhaps it won't be long before you can completely refine all the deity roots. When that time comes, you'll have the opportunity to cultivate a deity-level cultivation technique and become the strongest person in the Feng Yun clan, surpassing the old ancestor. Their main mission was to protect the young master. As a large family with a long history, they were well aware of the benefits of the divine general platform. For example, they were old. His potential was gone. Even if he went to the divine general platform, it would be useless. Young Master is different. The incident with Xiao Feng must be caused by someone targeting our Windcloud clan. Inform the people outside to be careful. No matter what, we can't let them snatch away the deity roots. Young Master still needs a large amount of deity roots. Windcloud Minor Sage was very clear about the actions of those people. Why don't I go out for a while? If they dare to do anything, then we'll do the same. Feng Yunsha's eyes flashed fiercely. It's a good opportunity for me to go out and take care of some opponents as well. I'll let them know that the Feng Yun clan is not a clan that anyone can deal with. Feng Yun Little Saint and the other 8-star sovereign exchanged a glance. Then you must be careful. Feng Yun Little Saint was good at controlling everything. Ever since he entered the divine general platform, he had been controlling everything. Feng Yun Samsara was different. He was a battle maniac. Even though he had disappeared for many years, his desire to kill was still very strong. This situation was very suitable for Feng Yun Samsara. The competition this time was more intense than before. Arranging for Feng Yun Samsara to go out was undoubtedly a good choice. He could intimidate the other party. All right, leave this matter to us. Feng Yun Samsara was very assured. He was not as good as the other two when it came to planning. Fighting and killing was more suitable for him. You said that those people are nearby? The Skirich ruler's face fell. Why did he say so much? Great, now he had been dragged into this matter. He had originally wanted to rely on the other party to kill the Windcloud clan members. Who would have thought that the other party would be so bold as to ask him to lead the way? Only then did the Skirich ruler realize what kind of person he had encountered. A person filled with murderous intent. Yes, they are in front. The Skirich ruler pointed ahead. When I passed by last time, I saw their family gathering deity roots. I just don't know if they are still there. Lin Fei was indeed very bold. Ever since he knew that many large families and sects were gathering deity roots, Lin Fei had been thinking about it. These deity roots would be very beneficial to him. As long as you follow me, I will help you kill a few of the Windcloud clan members. Lin Fei did not know much about the divine general platform, but the Skirich ruler knew a lot. The Wu clan, they had set up a base in a mountain valley. At this time, rulers were coming and going. You have done well. After a few more days, we can change locations. The ruler of Dark Mountain looked at the deity roots that had been handed over and stroked his white beard. He was very satisfied. The Wu clan had worked very hard for their young master. Every time they arrived at a new area, they would arrange for people to occupy that area. When they encountered other rulers, they would either chase them away or kill them. Their methods were tyrannical, and they did not show any mercy. This was the way of the clan. They had collected many deity roots over the past few days, and today was the day to hand them over. Boom! The aura of a 5-star ruler descended. In the air above the mountain valley, 2 rulers suddenly appeared. The aura of one of them was coming from one of them. Wu clan members, listen up. I am from the Windcloud clan. If you know what's good for you, hand over the deity roots obediently. Otherwise, don't blame me for starting a massacre. The moment Lin Fei appeared, the 5-star ruler was released to threaten the other party. When the Skirich ruler heard this, he felt a strange sense of excitement. This guy was really daring. He even dared to say such things, but he liked to hear it. Why didn't he think of such a method in the past? The Windcloud clan. The ruler of Dark Mountain had heard of this clan. It was said that this clan was the #1 clan in the Yellow Springs Weave, and they had a 9-stars ruler. He did not expect them to come to the Wu clan. Your Windcloud clan is really arrogant. Do you really think this is the Yellow Springs Weave? The ruler of Dark Mountain met the other party's gaze. The Wu clan was also a large clan in the Weave, and they were not afraid of the Windcloud clan. After all, they were not from the same clan. Even if the Windcloud clan came, they would have to think twice. Lin Fei raised an eyebrow. So you are not handing it over. Chapter 1554. The Wu family's ruler was enraged. They were a large clan in their own territory. Now they were being threatened by the Wind Cloud clan from another territory. Furthermore, they were being threatened by 2 5-star sovereigns, and their tone was extraordinarily arrogant. If they really handed over the deity root today, it wouldn't be long before other clans came knocking on their doors. This wind must not rise. At once, a juggernaut jumped out and glared at the two of them. His gaze was as sharp as a knife, as if he wanted to stab holes into the two of them before he would be satisfied. The Skirich Dominator pointed at them and said sternly, "Good, very good. How dare a mere Wu family like you act so insolently before the Wind Cloud clan? Don't blame the Wind Cloud clan for being impolite." Originally, the Skirich Dominator was filled with resentment towards the Wind Cloud clan. He could not wait to slander the Wind Cloud clan, and the most effective way was to kill them. "My lord, let's make our move. We'll show them just how powerful the Wind Cloud clan is." The Heavenspan Hegemon now wielded a sovereign hatchet, and it radiated the might of a sovereign. He chopped out with it, and the sovereign who had just appeared was nothing more than a peak 4-star sovereign. The hatchet slammed into him and sent him flying, leaving behind a trail of blood and gore. The Wu family can't withstand a single blow. The Heavenspan Hegemon's axe was filled with the power of an all-out attack. "Everyone, let's attack together and destroy the Wind Cloud clan's overlord. We'll show them the power of the Wu family." The Dark Mountain Hegemon was a 7-star Hegemon. Upon seeing Hegemon Windcloud's men attack, Hegemon Windcloud gave the order to surround and attack them, wanting to keep them here. Did the Wu family think they were afraid of the Windcloud clan just because they didn't make a move? If the Windcloud clan found out about it, they would not dare to do anything without concrete evidence. The Skyspan Juggernaut was the first to attack, but he was immediately surrounded and attacked by the other juggernauts. He thought to himself that he had been too excited just now. How could he have charged forward so carelessly and become their target? In less than a moment, the Skyspan Juggernaut was injured. Lin Fei did not make a move at all, which was quite amusing. The Skirich Dominator's temper was truly impatient. This was good as well. If they did not reveal the Wind Cloud clan's tyranny, no one would believe that they were from the Wind Cloud clan. Just a mere Wu family. I gave you face, but you don't want it. Then don't blame me for being rude. Lin Fei didn't mind killing some people. If he was going to kill someone, he naturally had to kill the strongest. In the gorge, only the 7-star Hegemon, the Dark Mountain Hegemon, was interested. Whoosh! Lin Fei disappeared into the void, just like that. The Dusk Mountain ruler did not make a move. A 7-star ruler had his pride, and the 2 5-star rulers did not need to make a move. However, they were still on their guard. After all, the Windcloud clan was still very famous. Where is he? I can't sense him at all. The Dark Mountain sovereign subconsciously used his divine sense to search, but he could not find any trace of the other party. He thought to himself, this is bad. The other party must be an expert in concealment who has evaded his divine sense search. Wha! All of a sudden a saber light flashed. This blade was unbelievably fast, and it came out so suddenly. The Dark Mountain Hegemon saw the black-robed man. Then he was plunged into darkness. A 7-star Dominator killed with a single slash. What Wu family? How dare they put on airs in front of the Windcloud clan? This is the end of it. Lin Fei took the storage ring from the other party and stood in his original position. The hegemons of the Wu clan who had been attacking were all shocked. Lord Dark Mountain is dead. The Windcloud clan killed the Dark Mountain ruler. Everyone run. He must be a 7-star Dominator. Those who attacked were scared out of their wits. Anger aside, they might not be a match for the black-robed man from the Windcloud clan, even if they joined forces. Let's go. With the death of a 7-star Dominator, They fled in panic as if they had lost their heads. "Stay here." Lin Fei turned into a stream of light and flew out. One slash was all it took to kill a Dominator. Their powerful strength was so weak in front of this black-robed man that they could not even withstand a single blow. The Skirich Hegemon was shocked, and a hint of joy appeared on his face. "Well done, my lord. A family like the Wu clan doesn't appreciate our kindness. It's best to kill them all." Lin Fei and the Skirich Hegemon attacked a few times and killed 7 to 8 Dominators. The remaining Dominators ran for their lives. "No need to chase. If we really kill them all, who'll help us promote the Windcloud clan?" Lin Fei was quite satisfied. Just now, this 7-star Dominator had obtained 500 divinity points. More importantly, he had obtained 12 God Roots, which was another 10,000 divinity points. "Take these things with you." Lin Fei was not interested in anything else, so he tossed them to the Skirich Hegemon. He was flattered. He really could not see through this guy's true combat strength, but one thing was for sure, he was stronger than him. "I know a few more places that probably have families or sects guarding them." The Skirich Hegemon asked carefully, "Do you think I'll be afraid when they've already killed them? Could it be that you're afraid?" Lin Fei laughed. The Skirich Hegemon twisted his neck. "Who's afraid? I'm not. Someone's going to be the unlucky one. Ha ha ha." "They're all dead." A few Dominators met cautiously far away. These were all 4- and 5-star Dominators. They were all furious. They did not expect the Windcloud clan to play dumb and almost annihilate them. The Windcloud clan. The Wu clan will never let this go. The remaining Dominators roared angrily. "Let's go, my lord. Let them help us vent our anger." "We'll be right there." The Wu clan had sent 2 8-star Dominators to the Divine General Platform. They could not take this lying down. They had to make the Windcloud clan pay the price. Yet another mountain range. This place was controlled by the Mu clan. They had taken over the nearby mountain range, which was about 1 billion miles in size, and chased away all unrelated people. Everyone had put in a lot of effort to obtain the deity roots. Today, someone broke into the Mu clan's territory. 2 people claiming to be from the Windcloud clan killed their way in. "I don't care who you are. Cut the crap. If you don't hand over the deity roots, you're going against the Windcloud clan. If you don't hand them over, I'll kill you." Another battle began. The Skirich Hegemon led the charge, and at the crucial moment, it was Lin Fei's turn to attack. Lin Fei's first move was to deal with the strongest one. As the saying went, to capture all his followers, one had to capture the leader first. He had to kill the strongest to destroy their confidence. As expected, the Mu clan's 7-star Dominators were killed in a few exchanges. The remaining Dominators fled pathetically. This time, Lin Fei had obtained 20 deity roots. The Skirich Hegemon had also obtained many ruler weapons. In the past, he had to go through a lot of trouble to obtain a ruler weapon. Today, he could easily obtain one. It was 2 extremes. Chapter 1555. Phew, this is so satisfying. In the sky, 2 silhouettes flew past quickly and landed on a mountain. The Skirich Dominator was very excited. This was the happiest day of his life. He had never felt so good before. Ever since the Windcloud clan destroyed his clan and made it a thing of the past, the Skirich Dominator had always wanted revenge. Unfortunately, he could only kill some unimportant people. He had finally reached the Dominator realm, but he was hunted down by the Windcloud clan. His days were very sullen. Ever since he met Ditian, he finally had a place to vent the pent-up anger in his heart. As long as the Windcloud clan was unhappy, the Skirich Dominator would be happy. These days, the Skirich Dominator did not know how many deity roots they had plundered. There were at least a dozen, and they were all quite famous. The Skirich Dominator believed that as long as the Windcloud clan's elites were left alone, they would definitely be surrounded and attacked. He believed that this day would come soon, and he would be able to vent his anger again. Brother Ditian, there shouldn't be any clan or sect that we can deal with within a radius of tens of billions of miles. Lin Fei had been sitting cross-legged on a boulder. These days of plundering, his divinity points had broken through rapidly and kept increasing. From the previous 100,000 divinity points, it had broken through 300,000 divinity points and was rushing towards 400,000 divinity points. This was much faster than Lin Fei working himself to death. Lin Fei felt that it was still not enough. Let's find a place to rest. We've plundered so many deity roots, I believe most of their troops have already moved out. If we continue to wander around, we might run into them soon. Lin Fei said, the Wind Cloud clan might have already come out to look for us. They might run into us soon. I'm sure you understand what I mean. I also think that we should rest for a while. The Skirich Dominator did not understand what he meant. It looked like they were safe now, but they might run into danger in the next moment. When that time came, they would run into at least a 7-star Dominator. Then let's change places. Lin Fei and the Skirich Dominator got up and left. They flew all the way away from this area, changing directions several times along the way. Finally, they hid in a mountain range, opened a cave abode, and set up layers of formations. Just as Lin Fei had guessed, the clans and sects that were robbed were enraged when they heard that their god roots had been stolen, especially when the culprits were the Wind Cloud clan. It was like a slap to their faces. This anger must be vented. The clan began to arrange for the 7-star dominators of the clan to form teams of 3 to search for the members of the Wind Cloud clan. They wanted to teach them a lesson they would never forget. Only then did they realize that the Wind Cloud clan had not only robbed them, they had even robbed quite a number of famous clans in the territory. Once they heard about this, everyone set aside whatever they were doing and prepared to find trouble with the Wind Cloud clan. They died here. Feng Yun Shaxing had brought 3 7-star rulers and 10 6-star rulers to search for someone. Since they dared to provoke the Wind Cloud clan, they had to be taught a harsh lesson. Feng Yun Shaxing's thinking was very simple. Anyone who dared to make a move against their people and snatch away their young master's important deity root was definitely an enemy clan within the weave or an enemy from the nearby weaves. The growth of a clan involved many benefits. Moreover, the growth of a clan was achieved by stepping on countless other clans, so the competition was very intense. In the Netherworld weave, no one dared to make a move openly. However, in a place like the Divine General Platform, as long as it was done cleanly, no one would know who did it. Feng Yun Shaxing found the place where the incident happened. Space-time reversal. Feng Yun Shaxing immediately took out a treasure. It was a mirror-like treasure with a resounding name, the reflective mirror. It could be used for playback. This kind of space-time reversal could only be performed by an 8-star ruler. Space-time in the area in front of Feng Yun Shaxing began to reverse. Wave after wave of scenes began to appear, from people appearing at the beginning to days and nights. After a moment, the scene from that day replayed. I know this person. He's the Skirich ruler, the one the clan is after. A 6-star ruler spoke up. He recently killed quite a number of our Wind Cloud clan disciples, and quite a few of them had great potential. The Skirich ruler was heavily injured. The scenes replayed one after another. Next, it was the scene of Feng Yun and Xiao Feng being ambushed and killed. What a brilliant concealment technique. It's actually unaffected by the time Dao. Feng Yun Shaxing was expressionless, but his killing intent intensified. The 6-star rulers and 7-star rulers behind him felt the pressure, but they could not say it out loud. They could only endure it. This person deserves to die. The Skirich ruler deserves to die too. Feng Yun Shaxing put away his treasure. It was fine as long as he knew who did it. When he used space-time reversal, his subordinates had already recorded the 2 of them. They would chase them to the ends of the earth. They went to the east. Let's chase them. Feng Yunsha Sheng determined the direction and flew out. The rulers behind him followed one after another. Half a day later, Feng Yunsha Sheng encountered a group of people. The two seven-star rulers in the lead attacked them the moment they heard that they were from the Wind Cloud clan. Several of the Wind Cloud clan's six-star rulers died. Wind Cloud clan, you killed someone from the Wu family. Today, you will pay with your blood. The Wu family's seven-star rulers attacked wildly. Whoosh, a resplendent firework exploded in the sky. It was the Wu family's transmission signal. Kill them. Feng Yunsha Sheng had just found the person behind the scenes. Although he did not know the background of the black-robed man, it did not matter. When the time came, someone would naturally kill him. However, someone attacked them at this time, and the reason was ridiculous. In his opinion, they were just two seven-star rulers. If they were killed, then so be it. The Wind Cloud clan was not that easy to bully. The Wu family's people immediately rushed over after receiving the message. They joined the battle without saying a word. Only a few of the people, brought by Feng Yunsha Sheng, were left. This time, Feng Yunsha Sheng was finally angered. Once he used his 8-star ruler strength, he crushed everything in his way and killed all the enemies. This was not the end. Lin Fei did not know that Feng Yunsha Sheng did not explain, and started killing just because of his killing intent. This caused an endless battle. Now, Lin Fei entered the God Pavilion once again. With more than 300,000 divinity points, Lin Fei set his sights on a God-tier cultivation technique. A God-tier saber technique was not enough. Although his attack was strong, it was still not enough. It was still difficult to face a 7-star ruler head-on. Lin Fei set his sights on a God-tier cultivation technique. Previously, he did not have enough divinity points, so he could only endure it. Now he no longer needed to endure. In any case, he had to exchange for 1 or 2 God-tier cultivation techniques. What cultivation technique should I learn this time? Chapter 1556. The first time he entered the God Pavilion, Lin Fei had just broken through 100,000 divinity points. This time, Lin Fei's divinity points were almost 400,000. This increase was very fast. 400,000 divinity points was just the beginning, and it would soon break through 500,000, 1 million, or even more. This was not a dream, but an inevitable thing. For example, recently, Lin Fei had gained at least 200,000 divinity points. Lin Fei believed that as long as he had a few more God-tier cultivation techniques, his harvest would be even greater. As for refining the God root, forget it. The system could learn God-tier cultivation techniques, but it would just consume divinity points. There was a big difference between refining and not refining. I am now a 5-star dominator, and I still need some time to reach 6-star dominator. To deal with powerful dominators, the God-tier cultivation technique, 1-blade slash, is not bad, but black is not enough. I need a supplementary cultivation technique. Killing 7-star dominators is already my limit. I need to find a cultivation technique that can conceal me. It can avoid the search of 8-star dominators and 9-stars dominators. Coupled with the 1-blade slash cultivation technique, I believe it will be much easier to deal with them. After thinking it through, Lin Fei had a choice. In the meantime, he also asked the little devil, but the little devil said that it was his own choice. Forget it. It was the same as not saying anything. Lin Fei went to the place with special cultivation techniques and prepared to choose one related to concealment. This was the only shortcut he could take at the moment. If he was not afraid of bringing out the battle fortress, Lin Fei was willing to bring it out. At that time, no matter who it was, as long as they made him unhappy, he would blast them. With the divine servant's reminder, Lin Fei did not dare to bring out the battle fortress. From the moment he entered the space of the divine general platform, Lin Fei felt that this space was extraordinary and had unknown secrets. The matter of the battle fortress would spread soon. Lin Fei would face them sooner or later, so he had to improve his strength. Learning a god-tier cultivation technique was a must. Cultivation technique, stealth, can sneak in the dark, requires 10,000 divinity points to exchange. God-tier cultivation technique, unfettered escape, unfettered breeze, escapes billions of miles in one go, requires 50,000 divinity points to exchange. God-tier cultivation technique, one flash away. There were many special concealment techniques. It was several times stronger than Lin Fei's current movement technique. Along the way, Lin Fei was not satisfied with anything. It was not that there were flaws in this area, but there were flaws in that area. Overall, he was not satisfied. After looking through a few hundred jade slips, Lin Fei was a little anxious. Could it be that he couldn't find a concealment technique? Search again. After flipping through the first jade slip, Lin Fei's heart sank. God-tier art, void concealment art. At this moment, a god-tier cultivation technique entered Lin Fei's vision. He first looked at the price. It required 180,000 divinity points. It wasn't cheap. Look again. Activating the void stealth technique required the support of divine power. Lin Fei rolled his eyes. It actually needs the support of divine power. I don't even have a trace of divine power on me. I was happy for nothing. The void stealth technique was the most suitable technique that Lin Fei had seen so far. He did not know what grade this technique was. The only thing he knew was that once this technique was activated, it would not leave any fluctuations and no traces could be found. Even 8 stars and 9 stars, rulers, might not be able to find his traces. Since he needed divine power, he stopped Lin Fei. Little devil, come out. Can divinity points be used as divine power? For some reason, an idea popped up in Lin Fei's mind. He summoned the little devil and asked about this matter. The little devil put her hands on her hips and said, I thought you would only ask about this when I finally couldn't hold it in anymore. Why did this expression look so despicable? Lin Fei's heart skipped a beat. You said it can be used. Divinity points themselves are a special existence. They can also be transformed into divine power. When used in conjunction with divine power to activate techniques, the power will suddenly increase. Do you think that divinity points are simply used to exchange for techniques and equipment? The little devil laughed happily. It was not easy to see Lin Fei being defeated. Lin Fei stomped his feet on the spot. Why didn't you say so earlier? As for whether divinity points could be used as an energy source, Lin Fei had always had this idea, but he had never put it into practice. I can't say that. You can only say that you didn't look carefully, the little devil said. If you don't believe me, you can open the technique page. There is a note at the end. Lin Fei immediately opened one of the pages where the system was located. As soon as he saw it, his face fell. God-tier technique, one blade / great success realm, can be activated using divinity points. Each activation will consume 100 divinity points. There is no limit to the number of times. Seeing this, Lin Fei wished he could give himself a slap. If he had known this earlier, he would not have been so careful. It was just 100 divinity points. It was not like he could not afford it. Undoubtedly, this time, Lin Fei did not look carefully. Now you know. The god floor quietened down again, and the little devil ran back. Exchange for the void escape technique. Lin Fei's face was a little red. He did not notice the situation the first time. After recovering, he exchanged for the void escape technique. 180,000 divinity points were gone, and Lin Fei was left with only 170,000 divinity points. Cultivating the void escape technique requires 10,000 divinity points. Do you want to cultivate? After spending 180,000 divinity points, Spending another 10,000 divinity points did not make Lin Fei's heart ache. 190,000 divinity points were spent just like that. Lin Fei finally came to the cultivation space and began to cultivate the void escape technique. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh! In the cave abode in the mountains, the Skirich overlord sat cross-legged on a rock. His gaze fell on Di Tian in the distance from time to time. He did not know what Di Tian was doing. Seclusion? It did not seem like it. If it was not seclusion, then what was it? He really could not figure it out. Suddenly, figures flew past in the sky above the mountains outside. The Skirich overlord thought that it was the Wind Cloud clan. Fortunately, it was not. He went straight ahead. He thought that was it. There were people flying past the mountains. The Skirich overlord was puzzled. Could something have happened? Otherwise, how could dozens of overlords pass by in such a short time? The Skirich overlord deliberately counted. Those who passed by were not weak. Almost all of them were 4-star overlords and above. Seeing that Di Tian did not wake up, the Skirich overlord sneaked out. He was very curious about what had happened. After a while, he came back from outside with a hint of excitement on his face. Should I tell Di Tian about this? The Skirich overlord pondered. If he had not gone out just now, he would not have known about this. What are you thinking about? Look at you. Did you see someone from the Wind Cloud clan? While the Skirich overlord was hesitating, Lin Fei woke up and naturally saw the Skirich overlord's expression. Ah, you're awake. If I don't wake up, am I supposed to go into seclusion? Lin Fei smiled. Chapter 1557. As soon as he successfully cultivated the void evasion technique, Lin Fei knew that it would be of great help to him. If he could kill a 7-star sovereign now, it would be much easier. Most importantly, he could use the God Tier 1 / continuously. 160,000 divinity points were equivalent to divine power. It was even more terrifying when activated. 3 to 5 slashes would kill a 7-star dominator. It's not the Wind Cloud clan. The Skyrend, Hegemon said. Rather, it's something you wouldn't expect. Not too long ago, quite a few people passed by this area. I snuck out to investigate and found out that a platform had appeared 1 billion kilometers away from them. And on that platform was a godly class technique. Lin Fei was not that surprised by the God Tier skill, but his expression changed. A God Tier skill? What was going on? No. Lin Fei had a flash of inspiration. He immediately thought of something. Are you sure it's a God Tier skill? I'm sure. The Juggernauts there are locked in a fierce battle. They're all fighting over the divine tier cultivation technique. The Skyspan Juggernaut couldn't help but feel excited at the mention of this word. This was also something the Skirich Dominator was hesitant to say. That place was not safe now. If someone recognized it, it would not end well for him. The Dominators would definitely hunt him down. After confirming that it was a God Tier skill, Lin Fei understood why the God Servant wanted him to collect God Roots. The goal was to cultivate a God Tier skill. Before this, Lin Fei had always wondered about the specific purpose of God Roots. Now he understood, completely understood. God Roots were to make it easier to cultivate God Tier skills. Why did 7-star dominators, 8-star dominators, and even 9-star dominators come? Everyone was here for the God Tier skill. Questions arose. Who left the God Tier skill? What were God Roots? Are you afraid that I'll be in danger if I go? Lin Fei also understood why the Skirich Dominator was frowning. Yes, he readily admitted it. I'll definitely help you with what I said. Lin Fei said seriously. Stay here for now. I'll be back soon. Fighting for the God Tier skill? The Dominators were fighting? For Lin Fei, this was great news, great news. His divinity points would depend on them. In the end, the Skyspan Hegemon chose to stay behind. That was not a place he could go. Even if his combat power was not bad, it would be useless to go there. Void escape technique. After leaving the mountain range, Lin Fei used the void escape technique. There were no fluctuations in the void at all. Several sovereigns had flown past him, but none of them had noticed him. It's good. Consuming 10 divinity points for one breath isn't cheap either. After an hour, it's 70 to 80,000 divinity points. His heart ached, but the void escape technique would be of great help to him. After appearing in the sky, Lin Fei's cloak covered his entire body, revealing only his eyes. Spreading his demonic wings, he turned into a beam of light and flew away. A distance of 1 billion miles was covered in just a few breaths. Boom, boom, boom. They had yet to approach the place. Off in the distance, the shock waves of a sovereign's attack radiated out like a tidal wave. It was a huge commotion. Lin Fei flew forward for another few tens of millions of miles before stopping. There was already a battle ahead. At least 100 sovereigns were fighting. A stone platform floated quietly in midair, and a jade slip lay on the stone platform. If this was still fine, but there were a few words left beside the stone platform, as if someone had specially come down. They were full of energy and wrote, "Divine cultivation technique, heaven's severing palm." The words left behind were not simple. Lin Fei focused his gaze and sensed a terrifying divine might from the ancient characters. Fortunately, the divine might was completely restrained, and only a trace of it was revealed. No one dared to question it. If the divine might was unleashed, no ruler in this region would feel good. Their strength would be suppressed by at least a third. The jade scroll should really be a divine cultivation technique. Lin Fei came to a conclusion. The divine general platform had a god root, and now there was a divine cultivation technique. It was undoubtedly a path to the heavens. Anyone who obtained a divine cultivation technique would be able to ascend to the heavens in a single step as long as they had some achievements in their cultivation. It's really strange that such things kept appearing in this place. Could it be that this place has become a free place? Lin Fei pondered for a long time, but could not come up with a reasonable explanation. The competition in the distance was getting more and more intense, and sovereigns kept falling. In order to fight for the divine cultivation technique, everyone was putting their lives on the line, hoping to obtain it themselves. Fortunately, I have the God Pavilion, so I don't need to fight for the divine cultivation technique. But it's different for them. No one can control their desire. Who knows how many people will die? Lin Fei shook his head violently. Since when am I being sentimental? If someone wants to fight for it, then they have to pay the price. Don't get killed. These are all divinity. In any case, it's either you die or he dies in the fight for the divine cultivation technique. Why don't they die by their own hands? At least they can contribute divinity, points to me. Lin Fei quickly found an excuse for himself. It wasn't that he wanted to kill them, but that they were going to die themselves. It didn't matter who killed them. There are so many people around who want to be the fishermen. Lin Fei used his divine senses to sense that there were many sovereigns hidden in the surrounding void. They were not in a hurry to make a move, as if they were waiting for more sovereigns to die. Coincidentally, the remaining sovereigns had also used up a large amount of great Tao power. Their strength was not as good as before, so it was easy to deal with them. Lin Fei had never thought of being the fisherman. At that time, if everyone died, where would he find his divinity points? He had to make a move. As for the divine cultivation technique heaven severing palm on the stone platform, Lin Fei was not interested. He spread his demon's wings and rushed in. Wind Cloud Clan, Wind Cloud Wuhin is here. I'll kill whoever dares to take the divine cultivation technique. Lin Fei's shout was like a clap of thunder in the clear sky. Hundreds of sovereigns looked in his direction instinctively. This guy was too arrogant. What Wind Cloud Clan? Divine cultivation techniques are not something your clan can take. Lin Fei's words undoubtedly agitated some people. They looked back and saw a 5-star sovereign with a disdainful look. How dare he come with such strength? Wind Cloud Clan, son of a B asterisk TCH, you're finally here. I've been waiting for your Wind Cloud Clan for a long time. Today, I'll kill you first. Then I'll settle the score with your Wind Cloud Clan. Among the hundreds of sovereigns, there were some who had suffered at the hands of the Wind Cloud Clan. They immediately gave up on attacking their opponents and charged at Wind Cloud Wuhan. Lin Fei raised his eyebrows and laughed in his heart. The Wind Cloud Clan didn't seem to be well liked now. That was good. Chapter 1559. Who's Wind Cloud Traceless? How dare that guy brag so shamelessly at a time like this? He must be tired of living. I think he's from the Wind Cloud Clan. The Wind Cloud Clan of the Netherworld Weave. Since when did they have the guts to interfere in the fight for the God-tier skill? Aren't they afraid of being attacked by angry rulers? You've never heard of the Wind Cloud Clan. The Wind Cloud Clan was famous in the Netherworld Weave. Their reputation in the Outer Weaves was average. Only the ancestor of the 9 Stars ruler was well known. Almost no one in the lower ranks knew of them. But recently, the Wind Cloud Clan had become famous, almost inciting public outrage. The first-rate clans of several weaves were looking for trouble with the Wind Cloud Clan. The matter was very simple. The Wind Cloud Clan stole food from the tiger's mouth. Not only did they kill people, but they also stole deity roots. Many rulers did not know about this. With the arrival of Wind Cloud Traceless, it was hard not to know about it. In a short time, the news spread. As a 5-star ruler, he dared to say that he would kill anyone who stole the God-tier skill. They really admired this guy. Maybe he was the vanguard. The Wind Cloud Clan's powerhouses were right behind him. If the Wind Cloud Clan dared to steal the deity roots of first-rate clans, it would be terrible if they interfered in the fight for the God-tier skill. Many rulers secretly pondered about this Wind Cloud Clan. Good. Lin Fei did not think as much as they did. Seeing the rulers charging at him, he was in a good mood. They were either 4-star or 5-star rulers. These were pulsating divinity points that belonged to him. There were over 100 rulers, but in Lin Fei's eyes, only a handful in the middle could threaten him. The rest were useless. Great Sword Qi Secret Technique. 5 great sword Qis crushed over, like a gust of wind sweeping over them. Bam, bam, bam. The 4-star ruler, who bore the brunt, was immediately minced by the sword will. The 5-star sovereigns weren't any better. Before the grand sword energy secret art could reach them, Lin Fei pulled out a sovereign saber and slashed it toward one of the sovereigns. This 5-star ruler was a ruler from a second-rate family. He wasn't weak, and he was a 5-star ruler after all. Even so, when he was struck by the great sword Qi, his mid-grade ruler battle robes were left with sword marks. The sharp sword Qi constantly sliced through the void. "Little brat, I'm going to kill you," the 5-star overlord roared. He aggressively and domineeringly slashed at the 5-star dominator. As the 5-star dominator's voice fell, a tyrannical power came crashing over, and his entire body exploded like popcorn. Everyone could only hear a boom, and this 5-star dominator's corpse did not remain. He was directly turned into dust. Awesome. Lin Fei had obtained 300 divinity points after killing a 5-star ruler with a single slash. Compared to using the divinity points to activate the single slash, he had not suffered a loss at all. Instead, he had earned quite a bit. Again, Lin Fei locked onto the other 5-star sovereign. He drew his blade. The 5-star sovereign was turned into dust again. Since divinity points were useful, Lin Fei no longer hesitated. After all, he had earned them. Not only that, but he could also obtain experience and invincibility points. The Wind Cloud Clan's people are actually so strong. A 5-star sovereign killed with a single slash. What kind of technique is this? Whether it was the onlookers or the people plotting in secret, everyone's expression changed at this moment. That Wind Cloud Clan's windless traceless actually killed a sovereign with a single slash. Moreover, it was not a low-level sovereign, but a mid-level sovereign. Anyone who was targeted by Wind Cloud Traceless killed a 5-star sovereign with a single slash. The onlookers sucked in a cold breath. The Wind Cloud clan actually produced such a super genius. The most terrifying thing was that they could not see through the slash's traces. If they could not see through the traces, they naturally could not block it. It was not that they could not block it, but they could only block it head-on. However, seeing that a mid-grade ruler battle robes were destroyed with a single slash, they could only use their physical bodies to block it. To hell with it. Wasn't that just sending themselves to death? Everyone, let's attack together. He can't use this kind of saber technique for long. Kill him, and this technique will belong to everyone. The sovereigns who hated the Wind Cloud clan felt their scalps go numb. In less than a moment, a total of 8 sovereigns were killed. Among them, were 5-star sovereigns. They were killed with a single slash. This was an instant kill, and a single slash at that. Since when were 5-star sovereigns so strong? The more it was like this, the more intense the killing intent of the remaining people became. No matter what, they could not let this monster Wind Cloud Traceless go. If he advanced to 7 or 8-star sovereigns, perhaps only 9-star sovereigns could suppress him. 3 6-star sovereigns attacked. 5-star sovereigns were killed in a single slash. They did not believe that they could be killed in a single slash. As long as they could suppress the opponent's attack, there was no need to fear Wind Cloud Traceless. The Wind Cloud clan is taking this god-tier technique. I'll kill anyone who dares to stop me. Lin Fei ignored the attacks coming from behind and attacked a 6-star sovereign with white eyebrows. Such arrogance. Instant arrow. The white-eyebrowed sovereign was also furious. The Wind Cloud clan was truly arrogant. 5-star sovereigns were easy to kill. Did they want to kill him? A dozen black shadows shot at Lin Fei's face. As the black shadows attacked, Lin Fei felt as if the void around him had sunk into mud. His movements slowed as he was affected by the power of the Great Tao. Break! Lin Fei raised his sword and slashed. This slash came crashing down like a huge wave. One slash was not enough. The second slash came. The space in the mud collapsed. Lin Fei rushed up and slashed a third time. The white-eyebrowed sovereign instantly felt the sky full of killing intent and an indescribable pressure. He was cut into pieces by the slash. The other 2 6-star sovereigns also attacked. Whoosh whoosh. Lin Fei did not dodge, nor did he activate invincible defense. He swung his hand and slashed twice. The 2 6-star sovereigns were cut into pieces. Did you see that? This is the consequence of going against the Wind Cloud clan. Lin Fei laughed. He was overjoyed. A lot of divinity points landed on him, not to mention the invincibility points. As for the abundant EXP, Lin Fei could not be bothered to look at it. Whoosh, 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 the sword light flashed. Lin Fei was like a terrifying demon king, taking care of 5-star sovereigns with a single move. So fierce! Even 6-star sovereigns can't block a single slash. What a monster! If his saber technique was mine, I could be just as impressive. That Wind Cloud Traceless won't be able to maintain such an overbearing saber technique for long. Once the 7-star sovereigns attack, that guy will die. Wind Cloud Traceless is already so overbearing. If the Wind Cloud clan comes later, we won't get any benefits. Why don't we snatch it now? The sovereigns changed their minds. Chapter 1560. Who wouldn't change their minds? No matter how tough a 5-star dominator was, he couldn't be that tough. A 6-star dominator could kill a 5-star dominator with a wave of his hand. He couldn't even leave a wound on his opponent. If they couldn't see this, then there was no need to continue cultivating. The Wind Cloud clan guy was overbearing. Those who had been hoping for death began to secretly calculate whether it was the best time to make a move now, or to make a move later and observe the situation. Previously, there were at most a dozen dominators attacking. Now, there were more than a dozen dominators surrounding him. Each of them could tell that traceless wind cloud was not easy to deal with. Most of the spectators in the void nearby were 6-star dominators and 7-star dominators. They planned to observe and wait for the best time to attack. It would be best if they could search his soul to obtain his saber technique. Whoosh! The saber light was dazzling. A 5-star dominator was blown to pieces. Lin Fei also had wounds on his body, but they were all intentional. He was afraid that he would be too tough and scare everyone away. As long as he pretended to be injured, the divinity points would still be his. Both 6-star dominators and 5-star dominators couldn't help but attack. If they couldn't get the god-tier cultivation technique, they could get their hands on this guy's saber technique. They lowered their target. If they still couldn't see how overbearing this saber technique was, then they could go back to sleep. There was no need to come out to fight for the god-tier cultivation technique. Surround him. He's already injured. He can't hold out for long. More than a dozen 6-star dominators surrounded him. Their scarlet eyes were fixed on this guy who called himself Traceless Wind Cloud. Palm techniques, fist techniques, saber techniques, sword techniques, and all sorts of secret techniques were dazzling. These dominators used their trump cards. They had no hope of getting the god-tier cultivation technique. There were still 7-star dominators present. They couldn't cross this mountain, but they could attack Traceless Wind Cloud's saber technique. Lin Fei was instantly drowned. The moment he was drowned, the void escape technique came into play. In that one breath's time, Lin Fei escaped the attack range and appeared behind the 6-star dominators. He raised his saber and swung it down. He used double the amount of divinity points. His surging divine power turned into a terrifying saber light that swept over them. Bam, bam, bam. The group of 6-star dominators who were secretly pleased were instantly plunged into endless darkness. Before they lost consciousness, they were probably wondering why he was behind them. Unfortunately, they would never know the answer. More than 10 6-star martial sovereigns were instantly killed. This kind of brutal saber technique shocked them quite a bit. If he had thought of him as valiant before, then at this moment he was savage. He had killed over 10 6-star hegemons with a single saber strike. Even a 7-star hegemon might not be able to do it, but Traceless Wind Cloud had done it. Too monstrous. That was insane. The entire place was silent. They were all scared out of their wits. The sovereigns who were still fighting also subconsciously pulled away from each other and stopped. This was a fierce man who could threaten them. Who was the one who said that he would kill me just now? Speak if you have the guts, but don't have the guts to attack? With this slash, Lin Fei's ruler-long saber shattered into pieces. Another ruler-long saber fell into his hands. Looking around, the people who were about to charge forward stopped in their tracks. If he went up again, he would be courting death. These juggernauts weren't stupid, either. More than 10 6-star juggernauts had been killed with a single slash. If they went up, they would just be sending themselves to their deaths. As for the 5-star martial sovereigns, their faces were pale. After stopping, they began to retreat quietly. They did not want the god-tier cultivation technique anymore. With this guy here, they had to consider whether they could survive. They retreated among the hundreds of sovereigns. Their overall strength was not high. The strongest was only a 7-star martial sovereign. This was also because the divine general stage was vast, and no powerhouses would appear for a while. It was easy to become a 7-star martial sovereign, but difficult to become an 8-star martial sovereign. If you don't want to do it, I'll do it myself. The Wind Cloud clan's belongings are not for you to covet. Lin Fei threw out another sentence and attacked. Run. Would it work? Lin Fei disappeared in front of everyone. Be careful, he disappeared. Divine consciousness can't catch him. Damn it. The sovereigns who had stopped could not stay calm. Would the Wind Cloud clan dare to keep them here? Not only were there 6-star martial sovereigns here, but there were also 7-star martial sovereigns. The 7-star martial sovereigns who had not attacked stopped now. Their eyes flashed as they searched with their divine consciousness. Then their expressions changed. There was no trace of him. Did he leave? Whoosh! Suddenly, Lin Fei's figure appeared in the center of their battle circle. He slashed with his saber. This slash turned into a golden saber river. It was 1,000,000 feet long, and the saber was extremely sharp. With a gentle sweep, more than 20 sovereigns fell into the saber river. The crowd only saw them struggling for a while before they stopped breathing and turned into pieces. The golden saber river swept toward them again. Even the 7-star martial sovereigns became targets. What a Wind Cloud clan, what a Wind Cloud traceless. I didn't expect them to hide so much. I've seen it all. A white-haired 7-star martial sovereign's face twitched. The martial sovereign's armor was almost on the verge of collapse. He had only exchanged a blow with the golden saber river. As long as we don't die today, the Wind Cloud clan can forget about monopolizing the God-tier technique. Another 7-star martial sovereign roared. Everyone run. His saber technique is too domineering. It's not something we can defend against. Lin Fei mobilized his divinity points. His divinity burned. In this area, the golden saber radiance was like a nightmare. One slash and a martial sovereign's life was taken away. Anyone below 7-star martial sovereign level who was not wearing a mid-grade martial sovereign battle armor could not withstand a single slash from the God-tier saber slash. Its power was far more terrifying than the power of the Great Path. Whether it was those who had been watching or those who had attacked, all of them fled. Were they not going to fight for the God-tier technique? Who would dare to fight for it? With Wind Cloud traceless of the Wind Cloud clan around, they would be sending themselves to their deaths if they went up. Did they not see that a few 7-star martial sovereigns had been killed? The rest were all vomiting blood. There was no way to fight at all. His opponent's saber technique was domineering and terrifying. One slash could break all of their attacks. When their lives were in danger, who would dare to fight for the God-tier technique? They wished their parents had given them a few more legs so they could leave. 7-star martial sovereigns were very arrogant. Before they could attack, they were already injured by the saber radiance. They turned and ran, not even thinking about the people they had brought with them. When they saw the golden radiance, their hearts trembled. If not now, then when? It had not even been 10 minutes. There's no one left. Lin Fei stood in the empty air. There was no one around him. The original mountain range had been razed to the ground. The remnant saber intent cut through the void ceaselessly. I didn't expect to use up 50,000 divinity points in such a short time. Lin Fei smiled bitterly. Fortunately, I've gained more than 40,000 divinity points. It's not a loss. The God-tier saber slash was too useful. The power unleashed by divinity points was terrifying. And this was with Lin Fei controlling his strength. Otherwise, no one present would have been able to leave. The Wind Cloud clan should be happy now. Lin Fei turned to look at the stone platform. With a wave of his hand, a long saber radiance blasted on the stone platform. Crash! The outer layer of energy was broken. Chapter 1561. Lin Fei attacked aggressively. The hundreds of juggernauts who were fighting for the God-tier skill were either killed or injured in an instant. In less than a moment, the place was cleared. There was no one else around the stone platform except for Lin Fei. Lin Fei also broke the restriction on the stone platform. If it was someone else who did not know about the connection between divinity points and power of divinity, Lin Fei would not be able to break it in a short time. Lin Fei felt the presence of divinity the moment he got the Jade Scroll. This was really a God-tier skill. Little Devil, what do you think? Lin Fei was very excited to get the God tier skill. This was the first time he got his hands on a God tier skill, and it was easier than expected. All he had to do was pay some divinity points. Once Little Devil came out, he used the system to scan the Jade Scroll and nodded. Yes, it's a God tier skill. Even though it's the lowest level, it's very suitable for you. How much is it worth if I exchange it? About 3,000 to 5,000 divinity points. Lin Fei squinted. This God tier skill came at the right time. You scanned the Jade Scroll just now. Are you sure it's safe? Lin Fei had some doubts about the Divine General platform, especially now that God Roots and God tier skills had appeared. Lin Fei had to be careful. I've scanned it. There's nothing wrong with the God tier skill inside. Lin Fei was relieved. He sent Little Devil back and kept all the storage rings nearby. There were dozens of storage rings, and a few of them belonged to 7-star dominators. Lin Fei obtained another 20 God Roots from the dozens of storage rings, which was an extra income. As for the Holy Stones, he used them to exchange for energy points. This was another big income. Wind Cloud Clan, just you wait to be the scapegoat. Lin Fei laughed heartily and left the place. Not long after Lin Fei left, people returned. These dominators were all 7-star dominators. They were all scared away by Traceless Wind Cloud. When they returned, they saw that the stone platform was broken and the God tier skill, Heaven's Severing Palm, had disappeared. Traceless Wind Cloud has obtained the deity tier art, Heaven's End Palm. Lin Fei returned to his cave abode. The Skyspan Hegemon was still waiting anxiously. Just now, when the Skyspan Hegemon had sensed that terrifying aura in the distance, even though it was still quite a distance away, he had felt his heart palpitate. Did something big happen? The Skyspan Hegemon asked. You'll know in a few days. Lin Fei didn't intend to make it so clear. It's best not to go out for the next few days if it's not necessary. If you want to go out, you'd better wait for 10 days. The Skyspan Hegemon wanted to ask further, but Lin Fei had entered the cave abode next door and activated the restrictions. It was too late even if he wanted to ask. It can't be. He did something big again. The Skyspan Hegemon retracted his gaze, his heart no longer calm and collected. Even after spending some time with Di Tian, I still can't see through him. His cultivation isn't high, but his combat prowess is abnormally high. I wonder how he cultivates. Listening to him is definitely the right thing to do. I'd better endure for a few more days. The Wind Cloud clan had produced a monster, Wind Cloud Traceless, who was able to fight against hundreds of sovereigns. Traceless Wind Cloud had stolen the deity tier cultivation technique, Heaven Extinguishing Palm. These two pieces of news spread like wildfire. Who was the Wind Cloud clan? The Wind Cloud clan of the Netherworld Weave? They had stolen the God tier skill, Heaven Severing Palm? Since when had the Wind Cloud clan become so awesome? All the sovereigns in the area received a message from their good friend, describing what had happened that day, proving with certainty that the God tier skill was in the hands of the Wind Cloud clan. The appearance of a God tier skill caused a huge commotion. Originally, many sovereigns headed to the area after hearing that a God tier skill had appeared. A clan in a weave only had 1 9-star sovereign. How dare they monopolize a God tier skill? The God tier skill had to be handed over, or shared. Wind Cloud Killer had been in a bad mood for the past few days. The person who killed the Wind Cloud clan was nowhere to be found. If that was all, Wind Cloud Killer would not be so angry. However, sovereigns from 5 stars to 7 stars sovereigns attacked them from time to time. They would ask if they were from the Wind Cloud clan when they saw them, and attack immediately as soon as they nodded, not giving them a chance to speak. More than 10 7-star sovereigns had died in the hands of Wind Cloud Killer these days. The sovereigns who attacked them were getting stronger and stronger. Wind Cloud Killer looked at the 5 injured sovereigns behind him. He felt very uncomfortable. Let's go back. They were attacked for no reason, and only 5 sovereigns were left. It would be strange if Wind Cloud Killer had a good temper. Since when did the Wind Cloud clan offend so many clans? Wind Cloud Killer recognized that a few of them were forces from other weaves. Their overall strength was only slightly weaker than the Wind Cloud clan, but they treated them like enemies. He was puzzled. Hearing that they were going back, the remaining 5 sovereigns heaved a sigh of relief. They did not want to live like this anymore. Whoosh! Just as they were getting excited, a black shadow flashed by, and a cold snicker could be heard. Wind Cloud Killer, hee. The 5 sovereigns had a green wound on their bodies. Following that, they let out miserable cries as white smoke came out of their bodies. They turned into puddles of blood in no time. Who? Wind Cloud Killer was in a bad mood. Now that the last 5 sovereigns were dead, and right in front of him his veins were popping. Wind Cloud Killer, your Wind Cloud clan really hid such an expert well. Hee, what a pity. A chilling voice came from the void, like a gust of chilly wind blowing past. You're the poison sovereign. Wind Cloud Killer revealed a hint of fear. Why was this old geezer here? Hee, you can even recognize me. The voice was still in the void. Since you can recognize me, I won't waste time with you. As long as the Wind Cloud clan hands over the item, I won't attack. Wind Cloud Killer was confused. What item? And what do you want to attack? The Poison Sovereign had been famous for a long time. He was now a peak 7-star sovereign. Although his realm was not as high as an 8-star sovereign, he had a poison technique. Even 8-star sovereigns had to be careful and were not willing to fight with the Poison Sovereign. You're asking a question you already know the answer to. The Poison Sovereign said, "There's a limit to my patience. I'll give you 10 breaths to think about it. If you don't agree, I don't mind taking you down and searching your soul. When that time comes, it won't be as simple as a few deaths." Wind Cloud Killer was very wary of the Poison Sovereign. He had come to bully him, and his words were vague, which made Wind Cloud Killer furious. Old geezer, don't go too far. I don't even know what you want. How do you want me to take it out? Hee, then I'll do it myself. Chapter 1562. God-tier cultivation methods appeared in more than one place on the divine general platform. God-tier cultivation methods appeared in many places. Each God-tier cultivation method's appearance led to a bloodbath. Within a month, 6 God-tier cultivation methods appeared on the divine general platform. All the powerhouses fought for them. The 6 and 7-star dominators who were originally participating withdrew from the competition. All the participants were 8-star dominators. Each 8-star dominator could suppress a 7-star dominator. Any 7-star dominator who tried were killed by the 8-star dominators. There were also terrifying supreme 8-star dominators among the 8-star dominators. 3 of the God-tier cultivation methods were snatched by the 8-star dominators. Once they mastered the God-tier cultivation methods, these 8-star dominators' strength would soar. At the same time, the Wind Cloud clan's God-tier cultivation method spread. We found the Wind Cloud clan's base. On a mountain, a dominator landed on the mountain. There were already 3 dominators waiting here. All 3 dominators emitted the aura of an 8-star dominator. The Wind Cloud clan is in a valley hundreds of millions of miles away. If not for Wind Cloud murderous leaving traces, we might not have found them. The 8-star dominator, Windblade Dominator, said, "These 3 8-star dominators were here for the God-tier cultivation method, Heaven's Severing Palm. They were from the major clans in their own weaves. The temptation of a God-tier cultivation method was enough to tempt these 8-star dominators. Well done. As long as we know the Wind Cloud clan's base, there's hope for a God-tier cultivation method. Who would have thought that a clan in the Netherworld weave would have such a powerhouse? Come to think of it, why would the Wind Cloud clan expose such a peerless prodigy? If they kept it hidden for another 1,000,000 or 10 million years, the Wind Cloud clan might have another terrifying 9-star dominator. Who knows? Maybe the Wind Cloud clan released that prodigy. Other than the god-tier cultivation method, we also want that saber technique. If we get it, our combat strength will increase by at least 4 or 5 levels. The 4 8-star dominators were in a frenzy. Even if they cultivated for a few chaos years, it was impossible to increase their combat strength by 4 or 5 levels in a short period of time. In another part of the void, someone had opened up a temporary space here. A dominator with long hair stood quietly in the space. The howling astral wind stopped before it even got close. Young master, Wind Cloud Killer has returned. A spatial ripple spread out, followed by a black shadow appearing and half kneeling in front of the long-haired hegemon. The infamous Wind Cloud Killer is now like a rat on the street that everyone wants to kill. Interesting, truly interesting. The long-haired hegemon said calmly, "Traceless wind cloud, ha-ha." The long-haired hegemon took a single step forward, leaving the dimension behind him. The space behind him instantly collapsed, and an astral wind howled past, destroying everything. Say, Wind Cloud Killer, a veteran 8-star martial emperor, is being chased by someone for billions of miles, and he's in such a miserable state. Lin Fei smiled when he heard the Skirich hegemon's words. Lin Fei had been hiding ever since he snatched the god-level cultivation technique, Sky-Severing Palm. He completely isolated his own aura. He hid for more than 10 days. There were countless sovereigns in this area, all searching for traceless Wind Cloud's whereabouts. 3 days ago, Lin Fei had taken the Skyspan hegemon with him and left his estate. In the meantime, the Skyspan hegemon had asked around about Wind Cloud Killer. He had never heard such good news before. That old man is really tenacious. He's been chased all the way, and he's been poisoned by the Poison Lord hegemon, but he can still persevere. The Skyspan hegemon could not wait for Wind Cloud Killer to die in someone else's hands. The Wind Cloud clan had sent 3 8-star martial emperors this time. Every death was equivalent to cutting off one of the Wind Cloud clan's arms. You're still the best, brother. You've put the Wind Cloud clan in danger in just a few moves. The Skyspan hegemon was full of admiration for Di Tian's abilities. Lin Fei had long guessed this would happen. The only thing he did not expect was that Wind Cloud Killer of the Wind Cloud clan was so tenacious that he was still alive. Don't you want to know about the god-level cultivation technique? Lin Fei asked with a smile. Nope. The Skyspan hegemon shook his head. It won't do me any good. Ever since he heard the news, the Skyspan hegemon knew that the god-level cultivation technique was definitely in Di Tian's hands. He was neither jealous nor envious. It was enough that Di Tian had helped him vent his anger. According to what you said, Wind Cloud Killer is a veteran 8-star martial emperor. He's being hunted down, so he'll definitely return to his base camp. Once he does, you'll be able to avenge yourself. It was not difficult for Lin Fei to guess that this was one of their tricks. They would use Wind Cloud Killer to find their base camp. Once the 8-star martial emperors surrounded them, even the 3 8-star martial emperors of the Wind Cloud clan would not be able to hold out for too long. The outcome was set in stone. Lin Fei did not mind making the Wind Cloud clan a scapegoat. With them around, he would not stand out so much. Explain? No one would explain at a time like this. All right, you can go now. It's best if you leave this area. After all, there are some martial emperors who know about you. Lin Fei said, "Aren't you coming with me to take a look?" Lin Fei smirked. "If I go, I'll be hunted down by them." The Skirich Dominator did not know what Di Tian was thinking. He also felt that it was very dangerous for Di Tian to go there, especially at a time when all 8-star Dominators were gathered to deal with the Wind Cloud clan. It would not be a good thing for Di Tian to go there. "Thank you, fellow cultivator. If it weren't for you, I would never have been able to avenge myself. The Wind Cloud clan has lost a young master. I believe that elder ancestor will go completely mad. Ha ha ha. When Hegemon's Skyspan thought of this, he couldn't help but laugh uproariously. This place is different from the outside. Be careful. I hope we will meet again, Lin Fei said. After exchanging a few more words, Lin Fei tossed a storage ring to the Skyspan Hegemon. This is for you, take it. The Skyspan Hegemon accepted it without standing on ceremony. After the Skirich Dominator left, Lin Fei did not leave. Instead, he used the void evasion technique and headed straight for the Wind Cloud clan's base camp. How could he miss out on such a good show? What Lin Fei cared about was that young Master Feng Yin. After refining the god roots and killing him, he would definitely be able to obtain a sum of divinity points. Danger? Lin Fei had no such thoughts. As for why he didn't go with the Skyspan Juggernaut, it was because it wasn't convenient for him to act. It would not be good to drag others into this. Lin Fei used the void evasion technique along the way and wasted some divinity points, but he did not mind. After all, he would gain something later. So many 7-star martial emperors. Arriving from the void, Lin Fei saw many 7-star martial emperors. There was a faint energy fluctuation in front that was even stronger than the 7-star martial emperors. Without a doubt, these were all 8-star martial emperors. Chapter 1563. Miserable. Never before had it been so miserable. In a valley on the divine general platform, Wind Cloud Killer spat out a mouthful of blood. The blood was not blood red, but dark green with an intense, rancid stench. The green blood landed on the grassland, turning the surrounding 10,000 miles into a poisonous land. There was no sign of life. Cough, cough, cough. Wind Cloud Killer spat out countless mouthfuls of blood. Half of his originally murderous face had turned green. His face was almost unrecognizable. He had lost his left arm completely. His chest and back were filled with wounds. Some of them were even horrifying. The residual power of the great Tao kept colliding in Wind Cloud Killer's body. Why is this happening? Since when did our Wind Cloud clan offend so many forces? Ever since the battle with Sovereign Poison Master, although Wind Cloud Killer had repelled Sovereign Poison Master, he had been poisoned and could not resolve it immediately. If Wind Cloud Killer was given enough time to heal, he could definitely resolve it. That was what Wind Cloud Killer planned to do. Unexpectedly, just as Wind Cloud Killer was about to heal, 8-star Sovereign came out and told him to hand over the item. Then he attacked Wind Cloud Killer. Wind Cloud Killer was already in a rage and attacked immediately. He used his strength to suppress his opponent, leaving another wound on his body. After repelling the first wave of enemies, the second wave came. There were 7-star Sovereigns and 8-star Sovereigns. Wind Cloud Killer was initially able to resist, but after being forced to retreat, he was being chased. The most despicable thing was that the poisoned Sovereign had been secretly poisoning them this entire time. Wind Cloud Killer had no idea how he survived these days. Especially with 8-star Sovereigns appearing and disappearing, he had no time to resolve his wounds and poison. At this moment, Wind Cloud Killer seemed to know something. Someone wanted to attack the Wind Cloud clan. Wind Cloud Killer had been fleeing, using a few secret techniques and expending a large portion of his strength to shake off his enemies and return to his temporary base. Cough, cough, cough. Once Wind Cloud Killer entered the valley, the huge valley turned into a land of poison. Buffed, buffed, buffed. The first few who came were poisoned. The poison spread everywhere. Killer, how did you end up like this? Wind Cloud Killer coughed out blood. Affected by the poison, Wind Cloud Little Saint and Wind Cloud Autumn, the two 8-star Sovereigns rushed up and were shocked when they saw Wind Cloud Killer's appearance. Seal. Little Saint Feng Yin pointed his finger at Feng Yinsha's forehead. A stream of energy entered Feng Yinsha's body, temporarily sealing up the chaotic energy within his body. Following that, Feng Yenche's complexion was no longer as pale as before, recovering a trace of color. Let's go. Someone's trying to attack the Wind Cloud clan. This place isn't safe anymore. Suppressing the chaotic energy, Wind Cloud Killer urged. Little Sage Fingyun's calm face revealed a hint of doubt. Killing? Didn't you go out for a while? How did you end up like this? Not only do you have a powerful poison on you, but you also have several great Tao forces on you. I don't know. I really don't know. Wind Cloud Killers shook his head. We need to escort the young master away right now. Otherwise, there won't be any time left. They'll be here soon. Wind Cloud Killer felt a tinge of fear. After being chased for millions of miles and almost dying, no one could remain calm. Take the young master away immediately. As long as we leave this place, we'll have a chance to find out who's behind all this. Little Saint Feng Yin knew Feng Yin Sha's strength very well. To be able to come back with such severe injuries, the attacker must be an 8-star dominator. And it wasn't just one. Boom, boom, boom. Little Saint Feng Yin prepared to leave with his men. A violent tremor came from the outside. Layers of barriers were broken, and more than 28-star dominators barged in. Wind Cloud Killer, thank you for bringing us here. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have known that you're in your base camp. Now is the perfect time to capture all of you. If you want to blame someone, blame it on the God tier skill, Heaven's Severing Palm. Hand over the God tier skill, Heaven's Severing Palm, and we'll leave your corpses intact. Hand over Traceless Wind Cloud. Hand over the Saber Technique. Boom, boom, boom. More than 28-star dominators appeared, and their terrifying aura locked onto everyone from the Wind Cloud clan. Wind Cloud Killer and the other 2 8-star dominators became the focus of attention. Even though the 3 of them were 8-star dominators, they still felt immense pressure. More than 28-star dominators. Were they trying to take their lives? The words God tier skill, Heaven's Severing Palm, made them understand what was going on. Our Wind Cloud clan obtained a God tier skill? The 3 8-star dominators did not smile. Instead, they had a sudden realization and unease, especially Wind Cloud Killer, who finally understood what was going on. Why were they being hunted down? So it was because their clan obtained a God tier skill. Following that, another question arose. Who was Traceless Wind Cloud? And when did their clan have such a person? Little Saint Wind Cloud realized that things had gone south. These people were coming at him aggressively, and he could not hold them off. If he could not explain himself, he said, Everyone, are you mistaken? There's no one called Traceless Wind Cloud among the people from our Wind Cloud clan who came in this time. We didn't obtain a God tier skill either. More than 28-star dominators came for the God tier skill. They found the Wind Cloud clan's base camp. Naturally, they did not believe the Wind Cloud clan's words. What did they mean by they didn't obtain it? Everyone saw it with their own eyes. Your Wind Cloud clan only has 1 9-star dominator. A God tier skill isn't something you can take for yourself. Since you won't hand it over, we'll look for it ourselves. It's in your hands. Worst comes to worst, we'll take it. The 8-star dominators were impatient. If they could not come to an agreement, they would attack. As soon as the 8-star dominators attacked, the people brought by the Wind Cloud clan were destroyed. The 7-star dominators could not withstand a few moves from the 8-star dominators and were killed. Wind Cloud Killer, Little Saint Wind Cloud, and Autumn Wind Cloud were given special attention. Little Saint, take the young master and leave first. I'll fight them. Wind Cloud Killer yelled and burned his great Tao energy. His strength increased greatly, and he held up 7 or 8 8-star dominators. Little Saint Wind Cloud and Autumn Wind Cloud rushed into the formation, wrapped the young master up, and broke out of the encirclement. You can't escape. You must hand over the God tier skill. Little Saint Windcloud and Little Saint Windcloud used all kinds of treasures without mercy. They barely managed to carve out a bloody path and rushed out with the young master. Behind them, 8 or 9 dominators caught up. With the strength of 8 star dominators, Little Saint Windcloud and Autumn Windcloud could not shake each other off. The 8 star dominators behind used all kinds of treasures, vaguely trying to surround them. Once they were surrounded, they would have no way out. "Young master, I'll send you off." Little Saint Windcloud knew that he had been tricked. The only thing he could do now was to send the young master away. As long as the young master could enter the godly general platform, it was not impossible to take revenge today. Holy Light Passage. Little Saint Windcloud punched the void and forcefully opened a passage, sending the young master in. Chapter 1564. After sending off the young master, the 2 8-star sovereigns from the Windcloud clan were besieged and eventually self-destructed. This was destined. There were only 10 8-star sovereigns attacking. Even if they joined forces, the 2 could not withstand their combined attacks. In the final attack, the 2 chose to self-destruct. This was the only thing they could do. They knew very well that if they were captured, they would inevitably be soul-searched, so they chose to self-destruct. This gave the besieging sovereigns a headache. The result of self-destruction was not what they wanted to see. Unfortunately, the 2 walked all the way to the end, not giving them a chance to soul-search. What a waste of effort! They actually chose to self-destruct. Their storage rings were also destroyed by self-destruction. I wonder if the God-tier cultivation method is still there. Search. After search, apart from some saint stones and tattered sovereign weapons, there was nothing else. The God-tier cultivation method jade scroll was nowhere to be found. It must be with the young master. Could it be that the young master is Feng Yunwan? The young master couldn't have run far. He must be nearby. Let's see who's lucky enough to catch up. These sovereigns were very disappointed. Since the God-tier cultivation method was not found, it must have landed with the young master. Some sovereigns even thought that Feng Yunwan was the young master. The sovereigns did not stop, choosing a direction to pursue. Uncle Little Saint, Uncle Killer, Uncle Chiu, I will definitely avenge you and find the mastermind. Feng Xiaohuang came out of the passage, his face twisted. Feng Xiaohuang saw the pursuit of more than 28-star sovereigns, but he could do nothing. This was a huge blow to Feng Xiaohuang in the Yellow Springs Weave. Feng Xiaohuang panicked for a while before returning to normal. Without the protection of the 8-star sovereigns, Feng Xiaohuang immediately changed into a black robe covering his face. His divine sense ripples also began to change. If someone passed by now, they would definitely not know that this person was Feng Xiaohuang. After a series of changes, Feng Xiaohuang headed east. He traveled tens of billions of kilometers, eventually landing in a mountain range. After observing for a while, he carved out an immortal's cave and set up a restrictive spell formation. He didn't stay there, but rather carved out an immortal's cave in a corner of the mountain range. He was being very careful. As long as I refine the remaining god roots and the divinity in my body reaches a certain level, I will be able to find a god tier cultivation technique. At that time, I will make them die without a burial ground. After setting up the restriction array, Feng Xiaohuang's eyes flashed with a cold light. He entered the cave abode. This was Feng Xiaohuang's goal. He knew more secrets than others, and the only way to increase his strength now was to obtain a god-tier cultivation technique. He believed that this place would be very safe. He took out the deity root and began to refine it. This fellow is quite smart. He changed the fluctuation of his divine sense, changed the location, and set up an illusion. It won't be easy for them to find this young master. In the cave abode, Lin Fei was hiding in the void. At this time, he was using the void escape technique. Since the 8-star rulers besieged the Feng Yun clan, Lin Fei had already been there, but he didn't show himself. More than 28-star rulers weren't that easy to deal with. Lin Fei was concerned about this young master. The moment little Saint Feng Yun opened the passageway, Lin Fei entered the passageway. He had been following behind this young master silently until now. Lin Fei was quite impressed by this fellow. He still had the mood to refine the deity root under such circumstances. What a waste of a deity root! Lin Fei felt his heart ache. At this time, Lin Fei was already sure that this fellow had a lot of divinity points. He might even be a big fat pig. Eternal instant. As soon as Lin Fei appeared, he executed an eternal instant. Just a breath's time was enough. Who? Feng Xiaohuang was shocked. He had escaped, but why was he targeted again? His refinement was interrupted, and when he woke up he was enveloped by a force. Lin Fei had already attacked. God tier blade slash. He didn't give his opponent a chance to resist. At this time, a piece of jade on Feng Xiaohuang's neck erupted with a terrifying aura. It propped up an energy shield and blocked the blade. The defense of 9 stars ruler. Lin Fei recognized it at a glance. This fellow had hidden such a top-notch treasure. You, a 5-star ruler, actually want to kill me. Feng Xiaohuang was caught unprepared. He only heaved a sigh of relief when the radiance propped up. His sharp eyes swept across and revealed a cold smile. You are very powerful. You have been hiding by my side. Unfortunately, I have the skylight jade bestowed to me by my old ancestor. Don't even think of killing me. Feng Xiaohuang couldn't keep his face after being ambushed at such a close distance. So that's how it is. Let's continue. Lin Fei didn't care. He slashed again, blasting on the outer layer of radiance. The originally flourishing radiance suddenly dimmed. Break for me. The third slash. Feng Xiaohuang was shocked again. Cracks appeared on the jade on his neck, one after another, and they immediately shattered. This 5-star ruler in front of him could threaten his life. He couldn't stay calm anymore. Die for me. Feng Xiaohuang was already a frightened bird. If the jade was shattered, it definitely wouldn't be able to block this saber art. He took out an immortal talisman and tore it apart, blasting it at his opponent. Instantly, a terrifying radiance soared into the sky. This mountain range was instantly flattened. This is the trump card that my old ancestor left for me. I was originally prepared to use it against an 8-star ruler. Now it's yours. I can't stay here any longer. I have to leave immediately. Feng Xiaohuang turned to leave. You don't have to leave. It's better if you stay. As soon as the voice came, Feng Xiaohuang saw a saber light slashing at him. The jade on the neck of that smiling, black-robed fellow shattered into countless pieces. The saber light also completely minced him into pieces. A young master of a large clan really has some trump cards. Lin Fei sighed. Ding, congratulations on obtaining 80,000 divinity points. As soon as the voice came, Lin Fei revealed an expression of I knew it. This really was a big fat pig. Not bad at all. It seems like these young masters of large clans have refined a large number of god roots and are waiting to soar into the sky. Compared to the ruler's few hundred divinity points, the current young master was a big fat sheep. The original 100,000 divinity points had returned to 200,000 divinity points. I'm going to look for the young master and make a move. Lin Fei put away the storage ring. There were actually hundreds of god roots inside, a total of 100,000 divinity points. Lin Fei's eyes lit up at this kind of harvest. Although he knew that there were god roots in the storage ring, he didn't expect there to be so many. Lin Fei had underestimated them. Chapter 1565. Upon seeing the flickering red dot, Lin Fei couldn't help but laugh. Hee hee, when you see me, you definitely won't be able to be happy. Lin Fei put away the item and used Void Opening to leave. This was also to prevent others from discovering him and following him. For example, Lin Fei had something he wanted to do right now. He didn't mind spending a few divinity points, as he had just obtained a few 100,000 divinity points. The commotion here was too great. Sweeping through the mountain range, and the might of a 9 stars sovereign had appeared. As long as one wasn't an idiot, one would know what had happened. Whoosh! I'm still one step too late. About 10 minutes after Lin Fei left, a bald sovereign appeared in the sky. He emitted the aura of an 8-star sovereign, and his sharp eyes constantly scanned the ground below. This was one of the 8-star sovereigns who had been pursuing young Master Feng Yin. It's this aura. This sovereign grabbed at the air, and specks of something fell into his hand. This was a strand of divine sense. The sky sovereign grabbed it with his unparalleled strength and used his divine sense to confirm who it was. It was the target he had been pursuing. In the eyes of an 8-star sovereign, anyone who had seen it would remember it. Although this place had been razed to the ground, there was still divine sense present. Only 8-star sovereigns like them could barely collect it. This young Master Feng Yin definitely has that old ancestor's protective treasure on him. How could he be killed in such a situation? Could it be a 9-star sovereign? No. The Divine General Platform doesn't allow 9-star sovereigns to enter. Could it be an 8-star sovereign? But this 8-star sovereign has hidden himself too deeply. To be able to kill young Master Feng Yin in such a short time and leave so calmly, the Sky Sovereign was puzzled. This matter didn't feel right. Fellow Taoist Sky Sovereign, you're not slow. What did you gain? The poisoned sovereign stealthily appeared, his small eyes scanning the scene. He's already dead. What can I gain? The Sky Sovereign's tone was cold. Someone beat me to it. The Sky Ruler did not speak kindly to the poisoned sovereign ruler who used lethal poison. Although the poisoned sovereign's strength was a whole realm lower than his, he did not dare to underestimate the poisoned sovereign's lethal poison. So that's how it is. I wonder if fellow Taoist has seen what that person looks like. The poisoned sovereign narrowed his eyes. For a 7-star hegemon to ask an 8-star hegemon such a question was something only the poison sovereign hegemon would do. What do you think? After saying this, the Sky Dominator turned and left. Humph, you're just an 8-star sovereign. The poisoned sovereign ruler coveted the deity rank cultivation technique very much. He originally thought that he would be able to catch up to young Master Feng Yin, but someone else beat him to it. Sooner or later, I will become an 8-star ruler. At that time, let's see who dares to ignore me. Young Master Feng Yin's death is not a good thing. What a waste of a deity rank cultivation technique. The poisoned sovereign shook his head and left as well. He had worked so hard for nothing. The commotion caused a few 8-star rulers to rush over, but when they saw the situation, they left one after another. When they left, their expressions were more or less filled with disappointment. Lin Fei left the scene and flew toward the east. With the void evasion technique, Lin Fei did not leave behind many traces. Although he left behind some aura fluctuations at the scene, after using the void evasion technique, his aura disappeared. This was also why Lin Fei was willing to use the void evasion technique. This flight lasted for half a month. He was getting closer and closer to the Red Dot. During this time, Lin Fei also discovered a few deity roots, which he unceremoniously collected. Those ignorant rulers also contributed quite a few divinity points to him. As he wished, Lin Fei's divinity point diagram broke through to 500,000 points. He was also close to leveling up. In just a few days, he would be able to break through to the 6-star ruler rank. In the air above a mountain range, this place had almost been razed to the ground, and there were remnants of energy fluctuations left behind by the battle. Fellow Taoist Rainbow, this is your share. On a flat area not far from the mountain range, 5 rulers were dividing up the spoils. A young hegemon placed one of the spoils in front of a female hegemon. If it weren't for fellow Taoist Rainbow's illusions, successfully holding them back. "It wouldn't have been so easy for us to take them down," said the young ruler. The rainbow ruler was wearing a rainbow-colored dress. Her cultivation had increased by a level, and she had broken through from the 6-star ruler rank to the 7-star ruler rank. Her aura fluctuations were also exceptionally stable. This meant that she had completely stabilized her strength. "We're teammates. This is what I should do," said the rainbow ruler with a smile. She habitually put away the spoils. The 5 rulers present were all 7-star rulers. They all had one thing in common. They were all young. Big Brother Feiyun has good foresight. With the help of fellow Taoist Rainbow's illusions, it'll be much easier for us to deal with them, said another female 7-star ruler in the group. The one called Big Brother Feiyun was a tall and sturdy silver-armored ruler. He was also the leader of the group. He was a peak 7-star ruler, and he specialized in close combat. That's because everyone cooperated well. Hegemon Feiyun smiled as he looked at the rainbow ruler. Of course, fellow Taoist Rainbow's illusions are extremely powerful as well. The moment you use them, you'll be able to affect a 7-star ruler. You're fully deserving of the title of hero. The rainbow ruler felt a little embarrassed. If it weren't for your help, I wouldn't have broken through to the 7-star ruler rank. In addition, I also have to thank Big Brother Feiyun, said the rainbow ruler with a smile. The surrounding people all laughed. Damn, are they flirting with each other? At this moment, Lin Fei appeared in the air above this area. Using his void evasion technique, Lin Fei was able to stealthily and smoothly find this place. Then he saw this laughing scene. This made Lin Fei uncomfortable. The rainbow ruler was his maid. Who would be so bold as to steal her from him? Lin Fei had come all this way to find the rainbow ruler. Even though he hadn't made the rainbow ruler swear an oath to become a rainbow ruler, Lin Fei had still secretly stored a strand of his aura on the appropriate tool. As long as it was within a certain range, Lin Fei would be able to use it to find the rainbow ruler. The only thing he hadn't expected was that Lin Fei would come all this way to see this. It seemed that someone was interested in his maid. That person was quite good-looking and somewhat handsome. Should I show myself or keep following them? Lin Fei wondered. If it were before, Lin Fei might have considered how to appear. After cultivating a divine tear technique and learning about the connection between divine power and divine power, he had nothing to worry about. Wasn't it just a peak 7-star ruler? Everyone should have rested enough. We can set off now. Hegemon Feiyun stood up. Let's take advantage of the fact that the Sumer Mountains have yet to appear and collect as many deity roots as we can. The resting hegemons all rose to their feet. The rainbow ruler stood up as well. After joining this group, she had collected many more deity roots than she had when she was alone. She had also learned a few secrets. Chapter 1566. Ruler Fei Yun thought highly of Rainbow Ruler's potential. Rainbow Ruler's strength might be average, but there was one thing he couldn't compare to: his illusory skills. Rainbow Ruler's illusory skills had reached an extremely profound level. According to him, he had improved in this space. Once he used it, it was hard to tell what was real and what was fake. Not only did Ruler Fei Yin think highly of Rainbow Ruler, but she also had some ideas. Rainbow Ruler was beautiful, and her illusory skills were extraordinary. If she reached the 9 stars ruler level, her illusory skills would be even more terrifying. She would be a powerful existence among the 9 stars rulers, although she wouldn't be as powerful as the super overlords. Along the way, Ruler Fei Yin took special care of Rainbow Ruler. This was one of the reasons why Rainbow Ruler could break through to 7 stars ruler so quickly. Ruler Fei Yin was very confident in taking down Rainbow Ruler with her family's influence and her own strength. For example, Ruler Fei Yin had purposely revealed some of the things that had happened on God Mountain to show off her abilities. Only some of the big families would know these secrets. Lin Fei was a domineering person. He didn't notice this. He just felt uncomfortable that a descendant was seducing his maid. After thinking for a while, Lin Fei felt that it was better to show himself. He believed that Rainbow Ruler's expression would be quite pleasant. Now that Lin Fei had found the seven-colored ruler, he would not leave her be. After all, she was his maidservant. With the 8-star rulers continuously appearing, their small team really did not have the ability to protect themselves. The people from the Wind Cloud clan were the best example. As long as an 8-star ruler attacked, their team would immediately fall apart. No one could block an 8-star ruler's attack. Lin Fei felt that it was better to keep her by his side. She had a god-tier technique and godly power to support her. Lin Fei was confident he could kill an 8-star ruler. Let's see how many god-tier slashes he could take. Kakik! Just as they were about to leave, the sky suddenly darkened. A chilly wind blew. The area instantly darkened. It was as if night had fallen. Who killed my nephew just now? A cold voice caused the surrounding temperature to drop. The 5 rulers couldn't help but shiver as the wind blew past them. Ruler Fei Yun and the other rulers were shocked. The area became chaotic. Only an 8-star ruler could use such a technique. Senior, you must be mistaken. How could we kill your nephew? Fei Yun braced himself and said. In the darkness, a huge foot appeared. This foot was like a mountain. It stretched out from the void, followed by another foot, until the other party was like a towering mountain. Sovereign Night King. Hegemon Fei Yun sucked in a breath of cold air. He recognized this hegemon and was scared out of his wits. Not bad, you actually recognize me. The towering mountain giant shrunk to 90 feet tall. Since you know my name, then you should know my temper. Did you kill my nephew? My mouth has become a crow's mouth? An 8-star dominator has really appeared. Lin Fei, who was in the void, did not know what to say. Lin Fei knew very well that they had just killed a few sovereigns. They were most likely fighting over the deity roots, or they had met a person who was trying to rob them of their deity roots. Lin Fei had encountered this situation more than a dozen times. It wasn't the other party who killed him. If you didn't kill me, I killed you. It seemed like their luck was pretty bad. Among the dead, one of them had a backer. One of them actually had a backer. He must have spread the news before he died. This 8-star ruler had rushed over. In fact, Lin Fei's guess was very accurate. Hegemon Fei Yun had indeed been surrounded by a group of sovereigns. She had relied on the 7-colored ruler's illusion to hold them back, and the 5 of them had killed them all. They knew that they were in big trouble now. Apart from the 7-colored ruler, who did not know the name Sovereign Night King, the other 4 sovereigns had ugly expressions. Sovereign Night King was a powerful sovereign in the Dark Territory. He was also one of the 8 great generals under the Dark Ruler. He was extremely powerful. Countless people wanted to kill Sovereign Night King, but no one dared to do so. Even the 9-star sovereigns could only bear with it. This was because Sovereign Night King's backer was the Dark Ruler. The Dark Ruler was an overlord in the Endless Territory and had the power to kill 9-star sovereigns. This was the main reason why Hegemon Fei Yun's expression had changed so many times. Sovereign Night King was too famous. Even though Hegemon Fei Yun's family had 3 9-star sovereigns and was considered a top-notch family in the Endless Territory, they did not dare to face Sovereign Night King's anger. Hegemon Fei Yun could not understand why one of the sovereigns who had killed and stolen was Sovereign Night King's nephew. You're purposely setting a trap for me. Sovereign Night King did not care too much about his nephew. If he died, so be it. He had to pay the price for killing his nephew. This was Sovereign Night King's thought process. Senior Night King, I really did not kill your nephew, Hegemon Fei Yun hurriedly said. I can swear on the Fei family's character. Sovereign Night King was expressionless. You are from the Fei family. Hegemon Fei Yun was delighted. I am indeed from the Fei family. If I dare lie, you can come to the Fei family to settle the score. So the person who killed my nephew wasn't you? Who was it? Sovereign Night King knew of the Fey family. They had 3 9-star sovereigns. Everyone knew that they were quite famous in the Endless Territory. She was the one who killed him. Senior Night King's nephew was killed by her. She specializes in illusions. Without her help, we would not have been able to win. Hegemin Feiyun's words caused the remaining 3 sovereigns to pin the crime on the 7-colored sovereign. They knew how powerful Sovereign Night King was. The family behind him could not afford to offend him. The Darkness Sovereign was an overlord who controlled a battle fortress. He could easily destroy a sect or a territory. When the 7-colored sovereign saw the other party appear, he cursed inwardly. The other party's aura was tyrannical, and he had a murderous aura like an endless ocean. Just the murderous aura alone made the 7-colored sovereign uncomfortable. What worried the 7-colored sovereign even more happened. They were pinning the crime on him. They were asking him to die. You're all lying. I used an illusion. You killed him. The 7-colored sovereign tried to defend himself. His face turned pale. Lin Fei, who was hiding in the dark, was also furious. I knew that person was up to no good. If the other party had only wanted to seduce his servant girl, Lin Fei would at most be unhappy. Chapter 1567. Lin Fei was furious. Sovereign Night Sovereign said calmly, "You know what to do." Feiyun knew that she would survive just from this sentence. As for the 7-color dominator, she was just a pretty dominator. If she died, so be it. It was better than dying herself. Feiyun's left arm exploded. "Thank you for not killing me, Senior." The arm would not be able to recover for a long time at least, unless she left this place and returned to her Fey family. "Don't kill us." "We didn't kill your nephew." Sovereign Night Sovereign moved his fingers slightly, and the remaining man and woman exploded. A 7-star dominator could not last more than a night against an 8-star dominator. Wind illusion. The 7-colored dominator's face was pale, but she knew to resist. The 8-star dominator's terrifying power attacked and shattered the 7-colored dominator. However, this was just an illusion. Her real body appeared millions of miles away. Boom! Boom! As the wind blew past, illusions appeared, densely packed together. However, the power of an 8-star sovereign was crushing everything in its path, shattering all the illusions in the area. Uft! The 7-colored dominator spat out a mouthful of blood and flew backward. Her rainbow-colored dominator battle robe was full of cracks. If you were an 8-star dominator, I might be a little afraid of using this level of illusion. You can't even withstand a single blow. Sovereign Night Sovereign said disapprovingly, "Senior, this woman killed your nephew. Leave this small matter to me. Why do you need to do it? I'll cut off her head myself." Feiyun said flatteringly. Feiyun was nothing in front of this 8-star dominator, Sovereign Night Sovereign. Interesting. Feiyun understood what Sovereign Night Sovereign meant. Die, bitch. Feiyun's power was not affected much after losing an arm. It might be a problem to take down others, but it was much easier to deal with the 7-colored dominator. Boom! A domineering fist, Art, turned into a black shadow and shot forward. "You shameless be **starred. I won't let you off even if I become a ghost." The 7-colored dominator had been injured long ago. Most of her power was used to resist Sovereign Night Sovereign's great Tao power. A 7-colored bridge blocked in front of her. "Who told you to kill Senior's nephew? If it weren't for you, this wouldn't have happened. Feiyun had to kill this guy himself. There was no one else around anyway." The 7-colored bridge shook and cracks appeared on it. "You can't stop it." The rainbow bridge shook again, and more cracks appeared. Wind illusion. Water illusion. The 7-colored dominator used the 7-colored bridge to attack while casting illusions in an attempt to affect Dominator Feiyun. However, the results were minimal. The illusions were broken one by one. It's useless. I have the heart tranquility bead on me. I won't be affected by illusions. Another fist landed on the seven-colored bridge, causing it to explode into pieces. Hegemon Feiyun, a peak seven-colored hegemon, was far more powerful than the seven-colored hegemon. The seven-colored hegemon wept. Hegemon Feiyun, you won't be happy for long even if you kill me. My master will definitely avenge me. An ant like you will die 100 times over in front of my master with a single finger. At this moment, the seven-colored ruler thought of that mischievous fellow. He loved to torture himself when he had nothing better to do. He loved to go out and bask in the sun when he had nothing to do. He made him cook and eat when he had nothing better to do, even though he had never thought that the other party could become his master. The moment he threw caution to the wind, the seven-colored ruler finally said the word master. Perhaps even if he became a seven-star ruler, he still wouldn't be a match for that mischievous fellow. Not to mention Hegemon Feiyun. He could kill 90% of the rulers in Sky City. Who could do that? Who could obtain a battle fortress? And you, Knight Sovereign, my master will settle the score with you sooner or later. In front of my master, you are as weak as an ant. Just wait to live in a nightmare. The seven-colored ruler stared coldly at Knight Sovereign. Hegemon Feiyun's heart shook. She couldn't believe it. What kind of joke is this? This be asterisk TCH has a master. Could she be a follower? If that's the case, things will be bad. To have a 6-star ruler as a follower, that master must be at least an 8-star ruler. Hegemon Feiyun clenched her teeth in regret. How did this happen to her? This be asterisk TH had hidden herself too well. If her master really came looking for her, she might not dare to attack Knight Sovereign. However, she was different. She would definitely be hunted down. Hegemon Feiyun didn't want to live in a nightmare of being hunted down. Before Hegemon Feiyun could digest this information, she heard even more overbearing words. She almost fell from the sky. Wasn't this too arrogant? Was this be asterisk TCH's master really that powerful? Be asterisk TCH, you're about to die, yet you still dare to boast shamelessly. If that bullsh asterisk T-master of yours really dares to appear, I'll blow him up with one punch. I'll let him have a taste of my sure-kill fist. Hegemon Feiyun threw caution to the wind. Right now, she could only kill the seven-colored ruler. Otherwise, it would be difficult for her to survive. Sure-kill fist. Hegemon Feiyun's movements suddenly slowed down. A murderous aura filled the sky and earth. Hegemon Feiyun's fist shot out slowly. It actually contained a trace of the Time Great Tao. The fist intent turned into a dot and went straight for the seven-colored ruler's forehead. Fist intent. Sure-kill fist. Facing this fist, the seven-colored ruler seemed to have fallen into an endless murderous intent. No matter how she moved, she would be killed. The power of this fist exceeded the limit that the seven-colored ruler could withstand. The illusions couldn't hold on for long. The densely packed illusions were destroyed, and the seven-colored ruler kept coughing up blood. Hegemon Feiyun felt that she could finally heave a sigh of relief. Not many seven-star rulers could withstand her fist, let alone a seven-star ruler who had only recently advanced. There was no way she could survive. Boom! A murderous aura filled the air. You say this is your sure-kill fist? I don't think it's much. Don't brag too much. Be careful that you might explode. A mocking voice could be heard. Hegemon Feiyun's eyes widened. At that moment, a black-robed man appeared in front of the seven-colored ruler. He just stood there with a faint smile on his face. However, this smile, along with the voice from before, was extremely irritating to Hegemon Feiyun's ears. Could it be that he had helped this be asterisk to Sage block her sure-kill fist? Who are you? Stop putting on an act. The seven-colored ruler thought that he would definitely die. He couldn't block that fist. He didn't feel the pain of his body collapsing. Instead, he heard a familiar voice. Then he saw a familiar black style and a head of long hair that fluttered in the wind. That's it. Chapter 1568. The seven-colored ruler was mesmerized. At the critical moment of life and death, the seven-colored ruler had never thought that the guy with the evil smile would save him and block Ruler Fei Yun's sure-kill punch for him so easily. He was even stronger than when he had entered. In the battle that day, the seven-colored ruler was the only one who hadn't died. The others were all dead. In such a short time, Di Tian's strength had become unfathomable. Ruler Fei Yun's sure-kill punch couldn't break through Di Tian's defense. I'll always be your servant. This time, the seven-colored ruler spoke from the bottom of his heart. The seven-colored ruler felt that he was fated to have a master who could protect him. You're his master. Ruler Fei Yun was shocked. He was indeed shocked by the person in front of him. Meanwhile, the seven-colored ruler's words kept echoing in his ears. This was his master. This was like a blow to the head. His most powerful sure-kill punch had been blocked. Was he a match for him? Ruler Fei Yun's gaze suddenly landed on him. He couldn't help but laugh as if he had understood something. Bitch, this is your master. I thought he was some big shot, but he's just a 5-star ruler. Ha ha ha, is this what you're relying on? It turned out that Ruler Fei Yun had seen through his opponent's realm. 5-star ruler realm. That was 2 realms lower than him. Fei Yun Hegemin wanted nothing more than to slap that *tch. She had almost been scared to death. As for the fact that she had blocked his punch, Fei Yun Hegemin had long since forgotten about it. Perhaps she had used some powerful treasures and wouldn't be able to do much. Ruler Fei Yun was completely calm now. A 5-star ruler and a 7-star ruler were not easy to kill. A pair of despicable men and women. Let me send you to hell. Fei Yun unleashed the sure-kill fist once again. This time, he wanted to kill them in one blow. He also pushed his power to the limit. Lin Fei turned around and didn't even look at him. How dare you touch my servant? I'll give you a quick death. Whop, a domineering saber slashed through the air. This saber was extremely domineering. Hegemin Fei Yun laughed coldly and thought to himself, this guy dares to say that he'll kill me? He doesn't even know how strong he is. However, just as this thought appeared in his mind, a domineering saber slashed over. Even he was unable to dodge and could only watch as the saber landed on his body. The treasure left behind by the patriarch was also activated, but it was still slashed apart by the saber. Next, he watched as his body was shattered into pieces. I'm dead. Lin Fei's slash consumed more divinity points. Just one slash was enough to take the other party's life. Lin Fei was too lazy to say anything more. This kind of person should be killed with a single slash. Off to the side, the 7-colored sovereign's beautiful eyes were wide open, and her jade-like lips were parted. An expression of disbelief appeared on her face. This was a peak 7-star sovereign. Are you happy now? Lin Fei turned around and smiled. Master, you're amazing. The 7-colored sovereign smiled. The 7-colored ruler had seen countless geniuses, but he had never seen anyone improve so quickly. Even Fei Yun, who was a peak 7-star ruler, could not escape death after activating his protective treasure. Stand to the side and watch as your master takes revenge for you. Lin Fei pointed with his saber, and the blade flashed. Fellow Taoist Knight Sovereign, I heard that you wanted to kill my maidservant just now. Now that I, the master, am here, what do you think I should do? The 7-colored sovereign was mesmerized by this point. After cultivating for so long, the 7-colored sovereign had never seen a 5-star ruler reprimand an 8-star ruler, much less an extremely powerful 8-star ruler. Most importantly, this was to take revenge for him. The 7-colored sovereign had never thought that someone would take revenge for him in front of a major figure. Perhaps this was something that only happened in dreams. The seven-colored sovereign felt a sense of bliss, even if she was just a maidservant. Sovereign Knight, Sovereign acted as if he was watching a show. Hegemon Night King knew exactly how his nephew had died. The Fey family was powerful, and some of the generals under the Lord's command were on good terms with the Fey family. This was why Hegemon Night King had cut off one of Hegemon Fei Yun's arms. Logically speaking, everything should have developed according to plan. When Sovereign Knight, Sovereign, heard the seven-colored sovereign's threat, he didn't take it to heart at all. It wasn't that he had never heard someone say something like this before. Master, wasn't it just a 7-star ruler or an 8-star ruler? If an ordinary 8-star ruler came, he could easily deal with him. Even an 8-star ruler would have to think twice before making things difficult for himself for the sake of a follower. Hegemon Night King hadn't expected that this woman's master would actually show up. She blocked a killing blow and easily killed Hegemon Feiyun. This wasn't the most surprising thing. The most surprising thing was that this guy was only a 5-star ruler. The saber technique that had killed Feiyun was extremely domineering, and he had even threatened Sovereign Knight Sovereign. Sovereign Knight Sovereign couldn't help but laugh. This was really interesting. Your saber technique just now wasn't bad. It looked simple, but it contained unparalleled power. This shouldn't be your power. The Knight Sovereign looked down from above. I'm quite interested in your saber technique. If you take the initiative to hand it over, I can leave both of your corpses intact. If I do it myself, you won't have a chance. As one of the 8 great generals, Sovereign Knight Sovereign had seen all kinds of cultivation techniques. The only thing that interested him was a god-tier cultivation technique. Right now, this saber technique piqued his interest. He could see its potential. If he used it himself, perhaps no 8-star ruler would be a match for him anymore. Lin Fei turned and smiled at the 7-colored sovereign. Come, help me massage my shoulders. If I don't massage them, I'll feel uncomfortable. The 7-colored sovereign was shocked. She hesitated for a moment, but still came forward. She placed her jade-like hands on his shoulders and gently massaged them. You're too weak. It seems like you forgot to ask for more. Lin Fei ignored Sovereign Knight Sovereign's words. Sovereign Knight Sovereign raised his eyebrows. You're quite daring. You actually dare to reject me? Then I'll do it myself. Let's see what you're capable of. How dare you act in front of me? Whoosh! Sovereign Knight Sovereign exhaled, and 2 terrifying black saber lights swept toward him like soft willow leaves. The power of this saber strike had the power of an 8-star ruler. With 2 saber strikes, he could easily kill an early-stage 8-star ruler. Humph! A junior like you dares to make a move. Lin Fei laughed loudly. His long hair fluttered in the wind as he swung his saber. I'll show you what a real saber technique is. Bang! Bang! The black saber light was shattered. Lin Fei's saber strike wasn't over yet. Burn your divinity points. Boom! 50,000 divinity points instantly evaporated. Surging divine power poured in. The long and narrow saber light blasted out. The ruler saber in Lin Fei's hand exploded into dust. Chapter 1570. The aura of this saber had reached its limit. In this space, the 8-star sovereigns all sensed the powerful aura erupting out of them. Their hearts palpitated. The aura affected them. No matter what they were doing, they all stopped and looked into the distance, trying to see where the aura was coming from. Their divine senses swept across the sky. Whoosh! 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 As their divine senses approached, they were met with wave after wave of terrifying pressure, which directly crushed their divine senses and caused them to explode under this pressure. Who is so powerful? Did someone break through from the 8-star ruler realm to the 9-star ruler realm? Is it a divine tier cultivation technique? Echoes reverberated in the sky. No one dared to check. This terrifying aura was enough to kill them. The 8-star rulers who looked in one direction subconsciously felt their hearts palpitate. Ruler Knight Sovereign did not care about a 5-star ruler. As long as he was on guard, the other party's saber technique would not be able to unleash its true power. The moment the saber technique unleashed its terrifying aura, Ruler Knight Sovereign cursed. "You're shameless." The surging saber light crushed Ruler Knight Sovereign's body. There was no time to react. There was no treasure that could block this saber strike. "I'll be back." Fragments filled the sky, leaving behind Ruler Knight Sovereign's voice. "It's actually a clone." Lin Fei curled his lips, not very satisfied. 8-star sovereigns weren't that easy to kill, so it was normal. Fortunately, I obtained more than 3,000 divinity points. Lin Fei did not care about the divinity points consumed. He had to be ruthless when dealing with an 8-star ruler. "You killed Ruler Knight Sovereign, an 8-star ruler." The 7-colored ruler felt uneasy. That was an 8-star ruler, and one of the 8 great generals under the darkness ruler. You're my maid. Since he bullied you, he had to accept the punishment. Don't you like it?" Lin Fei looked at the 7-colored ruler. The 7-colored ruler hurriedly shook his head. I like it very much. I just haven't accepted this news yet. Darkness Dominion. This was a huge dominion that controlled 8 dominion regions. Every territory had a general under it. At this moment, a roar came from a grand palace in the Night Monarch Dominion, and it shook the space apart. The entire Night Monarch Dominion was in an uproar. Who had offended Hegemon Night King? My doppelganger. Hegemon Night King coughed up a mouthful of blood, and his aura weakened significantly. My doppelganger was actually killed by someone with a single slash. That was a doppelganger that had 80% of my battle power. That hateful guy is really hateful. Sooner or later, I will tear him into pieces. The Knight Sovereign was connected to his clone. Hegemon Knight Sovereign knew everything about the clone. To be able to kill my doppelganger in a single slash, that saber art must be a deity-grade art. That fellow is too shameless. He used a deity-grade art as a 5-star sovereign. How can there be such a shameless fellow? Hegemon Night King continued to howl in his private room. That was a god-tier cultivation technique. Even he didn't have a god-tier cultivation technique, yet this little fellow had used it to scam him. He had always been the one killing people. This time, someone had destroyed a doppelganger that Hegemon Night King had paid a huge price to refine. It could be said that he had lost a large piece of flesh. This loss of flesh was heart-wrenching. Men, pass down my order. Put a bounty on this person's head. I want him to become a street rat that everyone in the Endless Dominion wants to kill. You killed Hegemon Night King's clone. Given his temper, he will definitely put a bounty on your head. The 7-colored ruler was roasting meat, and her pretty face was filled with worry. The 7-colored ruler was a sentimental woman. The 7-colored ruler had heard of Hegemon Night King's reputation. After all, he was one of the generals under a supreme overlord. Hegemon Night King definitely wouldn't take this lying down. The 7-colored ruler couldn't help but worry. Roast the meat in peace. Don't let your imagination run wild. Lin Fei didn't mind. He refined everything in Hegemon Night King's storage ring, such as god roots and holy stones. Lin Fei wasn't too worried about killing the subordinate of a supreme overlord. Hegemon Night King was a supreme overlord. If he angered him, he would also activate the battle fortress. At that time, let's see who would be afraid of whom. Moreover, he had invincible defense and a large number of divinity points. Lin Fei had many ways to fight back. Using the fire, the 7-colored ruler peeked out of the corner of his eye. Hegemon Night King was still so calm after killing an 8-star ruler. The 7-colored ruler really hadn't seen many people who could do this. Soon the roast meat was done. Lin Fei hadn't eaten roast meat in a long time. The familiar taste of roast meat was very satisfying. An immortal beast was quickly eaten. "What level are your illusions at?" Lin Fei casually asked after eating. "I can affect a 7-star ruler, but not an 8-star ruler." The 7-colored ruler answered truthfully, appearing weak. Lin Fei didn't know much about illusions. To be able to affect a 7-star ruler, illusions were quite extraordinary. After today's matter, Lin Fei felt that he had to help the maid a little. "Try this, and see if it's helpful to your illusions." Lin Fei took out a supreme grade experience pill. These things were piled up like a mountain and were of no use to Lin Fei. After you consume the elixir, you can try to practice illusion techniques. Lin Fei added. The 7-colored ruler didn't ask what pill it was. She cultivated illusions according to the requirements. After this cultivation, her originally stagnant illusions actually loosened a little. This wasn't usually the case. However, this loosening was short-lived. The 7-colored ruler revealed an excited expression. "Master, this pill of yours is too magical. As long as I have enough pills, my illusions should be able to break through again." It was good that it was useful. Lin Fei threw out a storage ring. "Take it and use it. I'll wait for you to break through." After seeing how powerful Lin Fei was, the 7-colored ruler knew that this maid of hers was too weak. She hoped that her strength could break through. This feeling was especially strong after Lin Fei killed the Night King's ruler avatar. In the territory, there were rulers who attached themselves to powerful rulers. This was especially true for someone like her who wasn't very strong. "Master, I won't disappoint you." That day, the 7-colored ruler used a treasure and began to cultivate illusions in seclusion. However, Lin Fei's casual behavior had nurtured a powerful illusion ruler. Her might shook the territory, and no one in the territory could compare to her. The 7-colored ruler cultivated illusions in seclusion. Lin Fei didn't stay idle either. He was busy fighting monsters and leveling up. 1 month later, Lin Fei broke through from the 5-star ruler realm to the 6-star ruler realm. He could be considered a mid-level ruler. 3 months later, the 7-colored ruler came out of seclusion. Using the supreme grade experience pill, he raised his illusions to the 8-star ruler level. Once he used it, layers of illusions would appear. It was enough to affect the judgment of an 8-star ruler. At this moment, if the 7-colored ruler encountered the Night King again, she could easily escape by relying on illusions. She wouldn't be broken by the Night King's attack. Boom, boom, boom. The 7-colored ruler came out of seclusion. Not long after, a huge golden mountain appeared between the heavens and the earth, towering between the heavens and the earth. Chapter 1571. A Golden Mountain. Everyone in the area stopped moving. Their gazes all fell on the Golden Mountain. The Golden Mountain emitted a faint golden light. The huge Golden Mountain was enveloped in the golden light. Occasionally, a golden immortal beast would rush out and look at the world. Then it would return to the mountain. All kinds of golden immortal beasts that had never been seen before appeared on the mountain. This was the divine mountain they had been waiting for. The divine general platform was on the golden divine mountain. The divine mountain has finally appeared. The craziest moment is here. I wonder who can enter the divine general platform and obtain the supreme inheritance. Hee, there's no need to think about the inheritance. If we can obtain a divine grade cultivation technique on the divine mountain, we will have a great harvest. Everyone was eager to move. Master, that's the divine mountain. The 7-colored overlord looked at the golden mountain. When his divine sense reached the mountain's periphery, it was blocked by the golden light. He couldn't see what was inside. Is this the divine mountain? At this time, Lin Fei wasn't shocked. Instead, he was excited. Lin Fei didn't know much about the divine mountain. However, he knew one thing. At the peak of the divine mountain was the goal of this trip, The Divine General Platform. The Divine General Platform is at the peak of this mountain. Rumor has it that all kinds of good things come from the Divine Mountain, and the Divine Mountain is more dangerous than the outside world. The seven-colored overlord was also very excited. He was lucky enough to see the Divine Mountain. Lin Fei wasn't very interested in the Divine General Platform. As for the Divine Servant's mission, Lin Fei didn't want to care about it for now, because just now Little Fiend had sent him a message. Those golden immortal beasts that rode on the clouds were filled with a lot of divinity points. This was what made Lin Fei excited. Let's go up the mountain and see what good things there are. The sovereigns from all directions were all heading towards the Divine Mountain. Rulers with powerful auras rushed toward the Divine Mountain. At this time, the 4-star to 6-star rulers had to stand aside. Even the 7-star rulers had to be careful. More and more 8-star rulers appeared. The Divine Mountain is open. I'll go in first. Ha ha ha! A ball of flame soared into the sky and entered the Divine Mountain, leaving behind a loud sound that echoed. That's the Fire God ruler, the rumored 8-star ruler. I didn't expect him to come too. This was just the beginning. The 8-star sovereigns charged straight into the Divine Mountain. Anyone who got in front of them was suppressed by the pressure of the 8-star sovereigns. If they were unlucky, they were instantly killed. In just half a day's time, quite a few sovereigns had died on the outskirts of the Divine Mountains. The most powerful hegemons all entered one after the other. Even some of the famous 8-star hegemons made their appearance this time, entering this long-awaited Divine Mountain. Lin Fei was just as fast as the 7-colored sovereign. Lin Fei didn't even consider the idea of being the first to enter. The 8-star sovereigns were famous for their ferocity. To Lin Fei, being the first or second made no difference. The most important thing was what they could gain from it. In Lin Fei's subconscious mind, the thing inside shouldn't disappoint him. When the golden Divine Mountain gradually appeared in front of him, Lin Fei could feel how big the Divine Mountain was. Big. It was extremely huge. It was as if he was facing a huge monster. Right now, Lin Fei was at most 50 million kilometers away from the God Mountain, but it felt as if the God Mountain was right in front of him. Whoosh! At this time, hundreds of treasures suddenly flew out of the sky above the Divine Mountain, whistling in all directions. It's a treasure, a ruler's treasure. That long saber just now is even more powerful than the ruler weapon I have. It must be a high-grade ruler weapon. Good stuff, really good stuff. The hundreds of treasures immediately whetted everyone's appetite. Those who were preparing to enter all chased after the treasures. If they could obtain one, their combat strength would increase. Master, a treasure is coming towards us. The 7-colored sovereign sensed a beam of light coming in their direction. Her pretty face revealed excitement and eagerness. We're quite lucky. We have to accept the gift, no matter what. Master, I'll go and accept it. The 7-colored sovereign went up to meet it. An illusion, layer after layer of illusions, blocked in front of the treasure. The 7-colored sovereign was smart. He created a large group of immortals to attack the treasure and slow it down. This illusion is pretty good. This method of collecting treasures was very novel. Lin Fei was full of praise. These illusions were very realistic, making it hard to tell if they were real or fake. In Lin Fei's eyes, this level of illusion was still lacking. The 7-colored sovereign put away the treasure, a high-grade ruler treasure, and it seems to be a defensive treasure. Lin Fei nodded. You're quite lucky. It should be able to defend against a 7-star sovereign's attack. If you have time to refine it, you'll have another layer of protection. Lin Fei didn't care about this kind of thing. With an invincible defense, he indeed didn't care about ordinary defensive treasures. The 7-colored sovereign was very happy to be able to obtain a treasure so easily. As for handing it over to Lin Fei, he wouldn't want it at all. She knew very well that her master had countless treasures on him. "I want this treasure. Hand it over." Boom! A long spear pierced through the void, and an arrogant and despotic voice could be heard. Over 100 treasures were fighting over. For the sovereigns who were rushing toward the God Mountain, there was simply too little. Some sovereigns who couldn't get anything turned their attention to others. For example, this person. Dream on! The 7-colored sovereign left behind an illusion clone. His real body had already left. A terrifying illusion enveloped him, especially since his opponent was also a 7-star sovereign. Lin Fei didn't make a move. The 7-colored sovereign was too weak now. There was no point in killing him. This was a good chance for him to train. The 7-star sovereign's combat strength wasn't bad. Seeing that the 7-colored sovereign's cultivation level wasn't any lower than his, he thought that he was easy to bully. However, his attack failed and he was trapped in an illusion. Just a mere illusion. Break for me. Boom, boom, boom. The 7-star sovereign was very confident. He kept breaking the illusion. After consuming a supreme grade experience pill, the 7-colored sovereign's illusion had reached an extremely high level. It wasn't something that could be broken so easily. Kill yourself. Layers of illusions were cast. The 7-star sovereign's sea of consciousness was broken. A faint voice rang out. The 7-star sovereign shattered himself with a palm strike, and a large pile of items fell out. Chapter 1572. Not bad, not bad. That's the effect I want. The outer region of God Mountain was not peaceful. Hundreds of ruler treasures flew out, and everyone fought for them. The rulers who could not get the treasures chose to attack the weaker rulers. Another bloody battle ensued. The combination of Lin Fei and the 7-colored ruler was naturally not taken seriously by anyone. When one person attacked, a second person would attack. The ones who attacked were all 7-star rulers. The 7-colored ruler was becoming more and more familiar with illusions. He used illusions to trap people while Lin Fei attacked from the side. He revealed a bit of the combat power of a 7-star ruler. After killing more than 27-star rulers, the nearby 7-star rulers did not dare to attack again. One had tyrannical attacks, while the other was good at illusions. They had no chance of winning, so they could only give up. A bunch of cowards. The 7-colored ruler showed a rare girlish side. Lin Fei smiled. They can't break your illusions. Once they get entangled, they will die. Who would dare to come? The 7-colored ruler looked very proud. Without the medicinal pills that Lin Fei had given him, it would have been unrealistic for him to improve his illusions. Without being harassed by outsiders, Lin Fei and the 7-colored ruler entered God Mountain. Hua! They entered God Mountain. Divine light that blotted out the sky and covered the earth surged toward their bodies. There's so much divine light. Lin Fei was shocked. He looked at the 7-colored ruler beside him and revealed a satisfied expression. Lin Fei sealed his pores to prevent the divine light from entering. Master, I feel so good. The 7-colored ruler moaned. Lin Fei had always been suspicious of this space. He was afraid of the divine light. Open your pores and let the divine light enter. The system will help you convert it into divinity points. The little devil's voice sounded in his ear. Divine light can be exchanged for divinity points? The little devil said, why not? Lin Fei had nothing to say. Lin Fei was very satisfied that the system had helped him solve this problem. As for whether or not the divine light was really harmful, Lin Fei couldn't guarantee it now. For the time being, he could only take one step at a time. Large amounts of divine light poured into Lin Fei's body. Divinity points would be converted into whatever went in. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining 1 divinity point. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining 1 divinity point. The voice kept reminding him. After about the time it took to brew a cup of tea, the 7-colored sovereign came back to his senses and his entire body released a trace of divinity. Master, what a freak! You actually formed a vortex. At that moment, a massive vortex had appeared in front of Lin Fei. Divine light kept pouring into it. It was like a bottomless pit. The seven-colored overlord didn't know what to say. This vortex was quickly suppressed by Lin Fei, and in the blink of an eye, it returned to normal. The amount of divinity points converted was not high, so Lin Fei controlled the pores on his body. He originally wanted to ask the seven-colored ruler if he felt uncomfortable, but after thinking about it, he decided not to. After entering the sacred mountain for a while, Lin Fei suspected that he had arrived at a paradise. This place was filled with a large amount of divine light that spread everywhere. From time to time, a Jingguang mist would appear and blow out. The immortal herbs that lived here basically all had a trace of divinity. Their quality surpassed that of ordinary immortal herbs, and their effects were also exceptionally good. Master, look, that's a 10,000-year-old greenwood grass. This is a 100,000-year-old three-leaf sky blue flower. The sky above the sacred mountain was restricted by restrictions. Lin Fei and the seven-colored ruler could only move in the forest or fly at low altitudes. The resources here were beyond imagination. The seven-colored ruler's eyesight was better than Lin Fei's. He had collected many immortal herbs, and even some rare immortal herbs could be found here. Lin Fei didn't care too much about these immortal herbs. However, these immortal herbs had a trace of divinity and could be exchanged for divinity points. This made Lin Fei happy again. The two of them plundered the immortal herbs wantonly. As long as they weren't too good, Lin Fei would exchange them for divinity points. He didn't know if he could come to this place again. Lin Fei didn't hold back and directly swept through the place. Everywhere he passed was a mess. Lin Fei's divinity points were also rapidly breaking through. Golden snake fruit. The two of them continued to move and didn't encounter any rulers for now. At this moment, the seven-colored ruler's eyes lit up. He discovered that there were a few golden fruits hanging on a towering tree not far away. They were already close to ripening. Roar! The seven-colored ruler wanted to harvest them even more. A golden immortal beast leaped out from behind the towering tree. It looked like a leopard. Heaven-burning beast! The seven-colored ruler cried out. Crash! The heaven-burning beast turned into an afterimage, and the seven-colored ruler was sent flying by a huge force. A tear appeared on the mid-grade ruler battle robot war. Roar! The heaven-burning beast pounced over again, its two claws as sharp as knives. The seven-colored ruler created a large illusory realm and barely managed to escape from its claws. Even so, it still felt a lingering fear. The illusory realm it created was broken by the heaven-burning beast in a few moves. Roar, roar, roar! A golden shockwave swept toward the two of them like a wave. Lin Fei had been on guard. He felt that this divine mountain wasn't ordinary. The seven-colored ruler was in danger in the blink of an eye. The sound wave attacked. Lin Fei rushed over, grabbed the seven-colored ruler, and retreated. The place where the two of them had been turned into a black hole. What a powerful heaven-burning beast! Lin Fei could see clearly that this beast's attack power was terrifying. The seven-colored ruler's illusory technique was ineffective against it. After its first attack failed, it charged over again. Lie down! Lin Fei released the Great Sword Qi secret technique. 5 great sword qi wrapped around the beast's body. Only a cracking sound could be heard. The Great Sword Qi secret technique was unable to cut the heaven-burning beast. Its defense is so strong. Lin Fei was shocked. Even his Great Sword Qi secret technique couldn't do anything to this beast. Master, this is a race that disappeared. Its physical body is invincible. Boom! Boom! The heaven-burning beast suddenly roared. The great sword qi on its body was completely shattered. The heaven-burning beast once again turned into a stream of light and shot out more than 10 sharp lights. Lin Fei had just moved when the attacks landed on his chest. Whoosh! 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 The ruler battle armor on Lin Fei's chest was cut open, leaving traces of blood. F*CK, so fierce! This was the first time Lin Fei's defense had been broken by a beast. Even if it was just a trace of blood, it was enough to make his expression change. There was such a terrifying existence on the Divine Mountain. Roar! Roar! Roars came from all directions in the forest. Another 5 golden heaven-burning beasts emerged. One of them was even larger, and it shot a cold light at Lin Fei. Master, be careful! Whoosh! Whoosh! The cold light turned into a physical attack, leaving 2 bloody wounds in front of Lin Fei. The smell of blood filled the air. The heaven-burning beasts became especially bloodthirsty.